I think I'm live. Hello, hello, Zen friends. Happy Saturday to you. Hope you're having a great weekend. Here we are, Saturday evening on this side of the planet, Sunday morning on the other side. So I think so, right? It is Saturday. All these holidays always throw me off. So happy day to you. Hope you're doing well. And before we get into everything, let us bring in the singing bowl here and bring in some beautiful energy as we do. And as we do this, we can just imagine this beautiful love energy just sparking in our heart and growing bigger and bigger and bigger, flooding into all of our life and flowing out to the world to do what it wants to do out there as well, to help raise the vibration of the planet. And of course, as I'm hitting the singing bowl, if you want to think of one thing that you're grateful for in this moment, right here, right now, then have gratitude towards the creator for it. Something that immediately raises our love vibration is gratitude. And it also allows us to be in that kind of position or energy of receiving messages from spirit, and it magnetizes us to be open to receive more of what we're grateful for. So that always is a win-win-win. All right. So as we do this, I'm going to take a big deep breath and come back to right here, right now. If you'd like to join me, you can take a deep breath in, hold it for as long as you feel comfortable. Please don't pass out. So here we go. Big deep breath in. Let's begin. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me and doing that. Sorry, that first one was a bit loud. So if it scared the crap out of you, my apologies. I was like, whoa, that was loud. You never know. It depends on where I hit it and how it hits. Sometimes it's very mellow, and other times it's like, wow, hello. We'll call it a wake up call, right? So good to see everybody. Hope you're doing well and having an amazing day full of amazing moments. And we'll get into everything here. If you're new to my channel or new to these readings, welcome, welcome, welcome. We got a great group of people, Zen friends with huge hearts and great senses of humor, which is very important in this adventure from as humans, right? So there's always room for more Zen friends. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're not familiar with how the whole process works, just check the description box of the video down below. It goes into all the process. We do go into donations first. I honor that as an energy exchange. We dive deeper. We pull more cards for those, prioritize those, and then we return back and go through free readings. I'm on for 3 hours. I try to get through as many free readings as I can. Some nights I don't get to any. Like I started this week. I discontinued my YouTube monthly channel memberships I mentioned all this morning. I won't go into too much at all, but it's something that I've been wanting to refocus my energy and minimize and simplify. And I thought it was going to like keep it for a month, all the ones that were already there, but it just discontinued everything, refunded everyone, and said membership's gone. So I'm sorry that I shocked people. And I was like, oh, gotta send out a message now. That wasn't my intentions to do it that quick, but evidently Spirit and YouTube had a different idea, so we go along with that. And so we have the Thursday nights now as well. So I'm on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights from 6 to 9 p.m. Mountain. And then on Saturday and Sundays, I'm on from 11 to 2 on both days. Now, if I don't get through, like Thursday night, I didn't get to any free readings. Friday night, last night, I got to everything in the 3 hours. This morning's, I actually stayed on 4 hours. I know balance is my my challenge. I wanted a purpose to stay for 3, but I stayed for 4. Um, but I only got to all donations, and then we'll see what happens tonight. Sundays will be different. I know people are trying. I know, like, Britt, you said you would like to be on the list reading. You never get to your timestamps on others. Um, Before this weekend, for the last couple months, I was completing everything and coming back on and being on for like 12, 13 hours in a day, but Spirit had me balanced. So apologies when I can't get to free readings. If you had any previous to this, in the description box of the videos, I do pin a comment listing the timestamps of everything. So after each one, I'll do that. But if you try, let's say Thursday and Friday and Saturday, I'm not able to get to any free readings, um, which I usually can get to some during that time. But let's say I can't, always make sure to come back on Sundays. Or if you're like, I don't even want to try Sundays, if you come between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Mountain Time and put your question out there. If I don't get through it in that 3 hour period, I take a break, eat, maybe go for a walk, depending on the weather. I'll come back and I'll finish out everything for that morning that I did not get to. So you'll get a message from Spirit sometime, at least on that Sunday. Um, but if you want to try, I do like last night. I got through everything. So we shall see. We'll just see how it all goes. But I appreciate your patience as we do try to get through as many readings as we can, and but also I appreciate you understanding that brudda-zen needs to balance. It is his challenge. And if I go way out, way out, way out of balance, then I get sick and then I'm out for a week or whatever, and that's not good. So balance is always has always been my challenge. So um, thank you guys for understanding. All right. Well, we'll get into everything. I think that's all I needed to mention here. Besides, so I'm going to be focusing on these live readings on the day on those times I mentioned, and then I'm also going to have a weekly podcast come out called what am I calling it? The Easier Path with brudda-zen, which is me channeling messages from Spirit about how we can make this human life easier. I don't think it could ever be easy, you know, but it can be easier, and we will. That'll be coming out sometime this month too, and there'll be some giveaways along with that too. So keep an eye out for that. I'm working on it. Tonight I'm gonna use the Wonderland Tarot. It's a cute little deck here. So that's what I'll be using if you're interested. If you see this side of the cards, ooh, very fancy. I like the little design. Oh, thank you. Touch of love. Good to see you. Long time. All right. So for donations right now, where we'll start off with Sean G, which we got the first donation via Zcash app. And then we'll switch back to Sun and Moon. And then Valerie Calver. Hello, hello, Valerie. And then Moonlight 5. Hello, my dear. And then Tanya. Hello, hello. Or Tanya, however you want to say it. um, so we have two for you, so you'll be up after that. All right. So I do put timestamps in the chat as I'm going, and then, as I said, I'll pin a message at the end. Not a message. Yeah, message. Is that what they call it? I forget it. But on the stream afterwards, I put a comment. That's what it's called. I post a comment and I'll pin it, which with all the readings I complete with the timestamps. So, all right, let's jump in. So we've got Sean G in the house, and you are at 1040. All these nice little uh, even numbers there. So thank you for your donation via Zcash app. So hope you're doing well. And so you saw a family member that you no longer speak to the other day. You just continued to pass them by or pass them, but they weren't looking great. And you wanted to ask how this person's well-being is. Okay, let's take a look here and see what spirit will let us know here. You didn't just stop them and go, "Girl, you're looking harsh. What's wrong with you? Are you okay?" If it was a girl. Even if not, girl. All right, let's take a look. You know you wanted to, Sean. All right, let's take a look here. What's the condition? What can we know about what's going on? Okay, we got that one. Those, all right. All right. Let's see what we have going on here. Yeah. It's funny, we got two cards that look like eyes, especially when they're like this together. So you got these two, and then you have five cards that are just like this. It's not a smiley face, it's not a frown face, it's just like that emoji that just has a straight line. That's kind of what it is here. So interesting energy with that. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is an energy of thievery, um, lies, deceit, betrayal. So I feel like the underlying energy isn't so much, you know, that they've done those things. Maybe they have, but I feel like because they've got these thoughts and these beliefs about being betrayed, being deceived, being cheated on, whatever that lower vibrational energy is, it's kind of oozed out into their body because they have like this bitterness that's been festering, and I feel like it's festering within their body. Let's see what else comes in here. Well, we have the Sun card, which is good, and the Three of Pentacles, which is a good card of as far as it goes in the outside world. Pentacles being the outside world. Both of those cards together are pretty a need for nurturing, a need for, taking care of themselves. But the Sun card is a bright card that's there. So that's why I feel like it's not a frowny face, but I feel like they are in pain, but it doesn't feel like anything like, whoa, extreme with that. Let's see what the emotion is here, or lack thereof. Yeah, they have the Eight of Swords. So they are working through these thoughts and beliefs of that Seven of Swords, the progression of looking at what these thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that no longer serve them, these that have made them feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted and small. And I feel like you might have been picking up on their energy too, maybe a lot of their emotional energy, and seeing them through emotional eyes. And I feel like you're picking up on them a lot of this lower vibration that they are experiencing, that they're trying to work through. Yeah, and the Page of Swords too, which is getting new clarity in their life, seeing things from a different perspective, kind of like a dark night of the soul kind of energy, where and that could be why they're not caring a whole lot. Maybe they're not caring about how they're looking, what they're doing, and that's why they kind of that roughness on the inside is reflected on the outside, because they just don't give a bohiny about it. We got the Six of Wands, which is a flow of energy. It is a victory. So I do feel like whatever's going on with them, they are making progress. And that makes sense with the 7 to the 8 of swords, with that Page of Swords and a victory card and the sun and all that. So it doesn't appear like there's a whole lot devastating that's going on with them. And the Fool card, which is an ending of an old cycle, the beginning of a new adventure. So I do feel like they've been through the worst of it, whatever's been going on with them, and they're on their way to a better place. So I feel like you're seeing them like if you saw them like a month ago, you'd have been like, "What the hell's going on with you?" But now they are like feeling so much better than they did a month ago. Yeah, and they got the Four of Cups too, which is a emotional stability. So I do feel like they were at a frowny face. Now they're at a I'm not frowning, and that's progress for them. Maybe they'll eventually work up to a smile. But I don't feel like there's anything to be concerned about with all this. Of course, disclaimer in the description box of the video, I am not a licensed medical professional or counselor or of any of that. And ultimately, everyone should make their own decisions and consult professionals. Tarot is for fun, and are we having fun? Yes. Entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? All right. So that's what they have for you, Sean. Let's get you your fortune cookie too. We've got the Letting Go deck with Combine together now with the Power of Surrender. Since we got through enough of them, I joined them all together in one larger deck. So here is your card. Yeah. So they do need rest and sleep, which is good. So to prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. So that's for them. That's rest and sleep. And so they definitely have been through something, but they're in recovery from whatever it was, if it was emotional, mental, physical, or all of the above, especially since they mentioned all those in that card. I feel like they've been through it, but they've been through the worst of it. So we're happy for them. So that's what they have for you, Sean G. So many blessings to you. All right. And for anyone new coming in to our chat, welcome, everybody. If you want to know how the whole process works, be sure to check out the description box of the video, and that will tell you how the whole process works. All right. So up next, we have Sun and Moon. Let's grab your timestamp. Hello, my dear. Put your timestamp down here. Thank you so much. Let's give your donation a love and a like since it lets me. And you did it. Uh-oh. What is it that you did? Dun, dun, dun. Extra nosy read with a side of tea, please. Thank you for encouraging you to reach out to BD. Oh, you finally did it. Woohoo. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. Wow. So let's take a look here. So you texted him. Okay. That's good. They can read it at their leisure. You don't have to hear the response right away. Hey, baby steps, right? I hear you. So let's take a look here, Sun and Moon. Let me give this one more better shuffle. That was a poor shuffle. There we go. Much better. Thank you. So number 1, when will they see your text? All right. So based on current energies. All right. Number 1. 2, what will they think about it? All right. So what are their thoughts, and do they believe you? Okay. We'll take a look at that. Yeah, and when will they respond? And what will they say? All right, so let's take a look here. Based on current energies, when they'll respond, and what will they say? Helping you prepare. Absolutely. The delicious tea. Welcome to brudda-zen's Tea Factory. Ooh, maybe that's a new channel name. Maybe I'll change my channel name from brudda-zen Mystic Tarot to brudda-zen's Tea Factory. I like that. I might have to think of a new a new logo now. Pouring the hot tea. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. So we don't want to look at the bottom of the deck for this one. We're just going to start with here. So when will they see your text? The world card, ending of a cycle, beginning of a new adventure. I feel like it's going to be tonight because that's the end of day. So I feel like they will see it this evening as it goes into tomorrow. So like at midnight, it's like the beginning, the ending, beginning energy with that. What will they think about it? Wow, Ace of Cups, beautiful. Very positive energy, very emotional energy, happy energy. So like, oh, it just feels very joyous and higher vibrational reaction. Whoosh, we like that. Uh, and then, um, and then, do they believe you? We got the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is interesting here with that because Nine of Swords, of course, is the nightmare and insomnia, but it more so is about it definitely. So think of the nine as the hermit's number because that's the major arcana nine. Swords is of the thoughts. So a lot of times it's we get stuck in our thoughts and especially into our expectations and our supposed to be's and fears. We can get really caught up in those beliefs. Well, in this case, it's not so much that extreme of an energy, but it does get them thinking in their head, and it does trigger a lot of thinking about their expectations, and so they start off in their heart, but then of course, deet, 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 here comes the mind sneaking in with the what does this mean? What da 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 da, which is what the mind does when it starts to go, I'm scared. Like the inner child feels either unsafe or out of control, or it's scared of the unknown. It's like, whoop, 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 whoop. The little alarm goes off, and the little safety features of the mind kick in. So I don't feel like this is necessarily that they don't believe you, but they're questioning themselves on what do they believe. So I feel like it triggers them into going, okay, okay, let me think about this. What do I believe? So I like that. When will they respond? Let's take a look here. Oh my gosh. So the world card is the last card in the major kind of tonight. And then the fool card, the zero card, is the card in the morning. So I feel like they'll wait and they'll contact you in the morning. Um, and the tower card is suddenly out of nowhere. So I feel like it's going to be um, when you least expect it. It's just going to be like, oh my gosh, look, there's a response. But it does feel like tomorrow because that's tonight's the ending, tomorrow morning's the beginning of the new day. And again, the tower card isn't a bad card here. It is because around timing, it's sudden, like because it's usually has a lightning bolt. It's sudden, that's coming in there. So um, I like that. And then what will they say? These are the ones about what they will say. This is where we want the most tea, right? The rest of that's like, okay, okay. We got the response. We kind of figured that. But now, what is the response? Dun, dun, dun. And this is based on, of course, the current energies of what they're in. And well, we're actually stepping forward, they're telling me, into the morning of. So this is the energy as they're choosing to respond, what they're feeling in that timeline coming up here. So we have the Five of Wands. There's three cards that came out together first. Five of Wands is a change energy, um, drama energy, but it's not drama with you. It is the energy of like sharing drama in a way. You know, they're like, good to hear from you. I've been through hell kind of energy, right? So I feel like they're going to start off with, oh my God, if you only knew what I've been through kind of energy. We do have the Emperor. The Emperor is that energy, and I feel like we've talked maybe a little bit about them, that they're in this process of deciding what they wanna do and what they wanna go with life, and they're very in this very transformational moment of deciding what I wanna do next and where I'm going to, you know, be headed forward in my life. And the 7 of Wands too, which is some great honesty with them of being true, to the who they are, and not dimming their light, not asking permission to shine. Again, not defending who they are or anything like that, but there's this authenticity that comes through here, which I feel they always knew they could have with you. It's like they knew that they could just tell you like it is, what's going on, where they're at, and they didn't have to worry about sugarcoating things that you prefer, you know, don't tell me what you think I need to hear, just tell me the truth, and they know that. So that it's gonna be true and honest, I know, right? "Ooh, ooh," but I feel like what they're saying here is, "I've been through hell, I'm trying to get my shit together, and my life is in a total, uh, you know, transformation, like we said. I'm trying to figure out what I want, and here I am, bleh, and you're like, "Well, hello. Good to see you too," right? Let's see what else is below the surface here. We do have the Hanged Man, which is the transformation. So a little bit of um, sharing of that they're in this moving from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and they're in the midst of change, um, etc. as well. And the Knight of Swords, yeah, they're on a quest for getting clarity in their life, and this is where they're at right now. So I feel like there's gonna be a bit of course, sharing the happiness of hearing from you and all this, and kind of more. I feel like it's not gonna be like this big long thing in the beginning. It's gonna be all da 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 da, and then this conversation starts up, and you guys go back and forth, and as it's going on, they're sharing. And just to be honest with you, I'm not sure what I can offer right now. I'm just kind of trying to figure everything out. I feel like they'll set forward an expectation of not having intentions or anything like that, because are just coming from a place of being in prison for how many for however long, right? And what they were going through. And now they're just going to want to be able to be true to themselves and not have expectations put on them and not be disappointing to people, as they've been hearing over and over again, who you're not being, what you're not doing, why me, and they don't want to experience that. So they're wanting to create like a space of them being able to be themselves, and set the expectations at the beginning of, I can't offer anything till I get through and away from all this and get down the line. Um, Kind of like I could use a friend, a really great friend right now. And so I like that kind of energy to start off, right? And I think that's what we had for July for you before, right? But I feel like that's what kind of starts up, and that's good. It's so important, of course, to let go of all the expectations and give them that space and give them that, energy of, yeah, just you be you, boo, that's there. Hey, Sun and Moon. Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you too. Let's see here. So if they believe you, then um what do they believe? Well, it's what do they believe about themselves and situation, and like what are their thoughts? It's like, okay, I know, like you're telling me your feelings, your opinions, your perceptions, but it causes them to go, what are mine? How do I see all of this? Is what it means, It is that energy of just wanting to be clear, if that makes sense. So it feels good. I mean, it feels like I do feel like this sense of relief, but that's the Nine of Swords too, where their mind starts going, "Well, I don't want expectations. I don't want expectations. I don't want disappointment." That also brings up those fears that kind of bounce around and come up with that too. But that's good. This is good. I'm so proud of you because it is so important to like begin the contact. It's like it's like starting a project, right? It takes the first step and then just take one step at a time. Don't rush ahead to the thousand steps ahead. Enjoy each step along the way. Try to be as free as you can with it all because we don't want the lion to run into the jungle going, "No, I don't want to be caged." It's like, I know. Roar, you be you. Um, but just to be that place. So I love that. For the fortune cookie, let's see here. We must let go of negative thoughts and belief systems and shed the stress of negative emotions that give them energy. And it says we have to cancel the negative programming that comes from the world as well as our own belief systems. That's funny. We're all talking about belief, right? We have to cancel negative programming, which is our expectations, really. It's our small t truths rooted in fear. That's where our negative programming comes from with all of that, right? So I love that. So beautiful, beautiful. Here it comes. So just no expectations with it all, just gratitude. It's like you hear back from them. It's not even like what they say or how they say it, whatever. It's just I'm so glad they responded. And then realize it's like you ever see the movies where someone's in a nice calm place and they're dialing up someone to talk to them, and they're in the middle of a battle with ninjas, and they're like, "Hold on a sec, hold on a sec." They're responding from this place of fear and attack, and and you're in this little peaceful place, and you're like, "Hello, why aren't you talking to me? Are you okay?" So if they're not giving us the full attention that we would expect being in a calm place that we are, is because they're fighting ninjas. I like that. That's fun. Absolutely. I'm so grateful. Can't wait for this journey to unfold for you. All right. So that's what they have for that for you, Sun and Moon. Thank you again for your donation. Again, high five. Whoopsh. So proud. All righty, righty. So we'll move forward here. So Valerie Calver, you are at 33 minutes even. Let's grab that here for you. Here's your time stamp. So Valerie, thank you for your donation. We'll give that a love and a like. Great to see you. Want to know when will you see our granddaughter? Any changes in money? All right, we'll take a look here. So let's see here. When will you see your granddaughter? Okay. We'll put those underneath too. More information. And any changes in money. All right. Got that one. These are below the surface. These, no, they don't want those. All right. So the bottom of the deck, we start off here with the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles underline energy for your reading for both senior granddaughter and money is it really can fit any area of our life because we as humans, of course, experience lack, right? We're taught to fear and focus on what we feel is missing in our life. And then, so we want something, we need something like want more money, want more time with our granddaughter, see them, whatever. That's what we're taught growing up, right? And so every human almost is taught that. I usually joke that unless you're a baby that's like an orphaned baby that is adopted by a Buddhist monastery when you're a baby, you probably will grow up differently. But the rest of us, we grow up with focus on lack, focus on what we feel is missing in our life. That's what the Five of Pentacles is. It's the fear of lack, the fear of not having enough, not being enough, being left behind, being abandoned. all of that lovely lack energy. But the thing is, when we focus on what's missing in our life, we get more missing because that's what we're taught, right? And so when we are able to change our habit and realize that's what the five in the five pentacles is, it's a number of change. And when we realize, one, that it's Creator that brings us whatever we need in each moment, it's not dependent upon the outside world and humans. Thank goodness. Humans are fickle. They go into fear, they pull back. And that's where we experience abandonment, is when a human, their inner child feels unsafe and out of control. They go whoop, 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 fire, all the alarms go off, the fight or flight kicks in. They take back everything. And I need it all for me to survive, and they withdraw everything from us. That's where the abandonment experiences happen with humans in our lives, is from them. Um, and then, but there's this transformation that happens when we realize that rather than focusing on what's missing and thinking that everyone else is responsible for the lack in my life, instead, when we're like, I begin to focus on gratitude for what I do have, that changes the energy. I focus on, like in this case, let's say granddaughter. What are the times I've had with my granddaughter? We sit in that, we imagine it, we see it, we feel it. We allow that emotional soundtrack to play of what a wonderful time. I'm so grateful that that time I had with my granddaughter, that time I had with my granddaughter, you know, then that puts us in an energy of receiving more of that energy instead of lack. Like if I'm like, I don't see my granddaughter enough, well, the energy is I don't want to see my granddaughter, and it pushes it more away. So I'm actually making it harder for me to get what I want by focusing on that I'm not getting it, instead of focusing on what I'm grateful for when I did have it and did have it, or do have it and have it in the past. Same thing with money and abundance, with anything really in our life. If we focus on what's missing, we get more missing. If we focus on what we have or have had, we get more. So I like that, just as your starting energy. All right, granddaughter, when will you see them next? You have the high priestess. You have had this little time here. The high priestess does go away, goes up into our high priestess temple to connect with spirit, look behind the veil, dive into their own emotions. There's been this alone time here, and the Eight of Pentacles. It's been giving you time here and focus to be able to work on your own self and to release those thoughts and beliefs that don't serve you anymore. So you've been doing inner work. This high priestess time is allowed for that. Um, so I like that for you here. But if we can look past and not focus on those expectations that aren't being met, which is the Nine of Swords, then that leads to the Ten of Cups, which is joy and celebration. So as much like the when is as much as you can move away from uh, I am supposed to see them this often. This was supposed to have happened. This hasn't happened. If we can get out of that and focus in on the gratitude and the joy, that's what the both of those cards represent too. Fear, expectations, and joy. If we focus on the joy of it, we get more joy. So it all is dependent with this when on how much energy you put into the gratitude. That raises the vibration, moves things in faster, whereas the other pushes it away and it draws it slower, right? So it's all in your hands, what they're saying here about when you see your granddaughter, which is where we want it. We don't want it in someone else's hands. We're like, all right, I'm going to sit and I'm going to remember all the time I've had with my granddaughter and the things I've loved about it. And even if it's just once, I'm going to focus on granddaughter, granddaughter, granddaughter. I love this. You know, the times I've had with them, and play them over in your head and feel that love that you have and send the love to your granddaughter, and, see what that brings in. Money, money, money. Yeah, we got the Three of Swords, which is expectations. So both of this, even if I didn't read the bottom of the deck, they're bringing in both situations. It's about expectations, because that's what expectations are. It's a Expectations are small t truths rooted in fear of the should, the supposed to be, the must be, all those opinions we were given growing up on how life is supposed to be. And that's where we face disappointment, because life doesn't live up to our expectations. Life is, we control our stories in our head, but we have been given a lot of suggestions on what things should mean and timelines and everything else. But when we focus in on expectations, like we have these expectations and here is zero actions, takes all of this just to get up to zero. If we have very little expectations, it doesn't take much to feel abundance, right? And so there is this movement from not focusing on what should be, but focusing on gratitude for what I have. That just opens the floodgates and draws it. Otherwise, again, we focus on lack, money just gets repelled away from us, out of our lives, right? Yeah, we have the devil card here, Saturn Capricorn energy with the Queen of Cups. Again, high priestess energy here. But the devil card is the challenger of our thoughts and long held thoughts and beliefs and mindsets. So it is here a period of time. If you feel like money's being difficult coming to you and you're not like you're not seeing your granddaughter enough, or other things in your life that just feel like, why is everything being so difficult? Well, it's the time with the Saturn here. They're bringing things up to your face so that you can question these things and be freed from them, because they're already impacting you below the surface. But at the appointed time, our shadow starts bringing these things to us so that we can face it through the conflict and the pain and suffering. But it's like having something, a pebble in our shoe, something that's negatively impacting us day after day after day after day. We don't realize how much pain we're in and how much things are impacting us until it's brought to our face. And then when we take off our shoe and we're forced to sit down, take off our shoe, empty out the rocks, put it back in and go, oh, God, that feels so good. I'm so grateful now. So you'll be grateful after you get through this. But I feel like the change of expectations and um, the focus on gratitude will bring in and make a big difference for you. Let's see what they have here for your fortune cookie. So it says repressed and suppressed feelings require counter energy to keep them submerged. It takes energy to hold down our feelings. Wow. So there might be some suppressed things around this, right? As we were talking about. But on the back of the card, it says, as these feelings are relinquished, the energy that had been holding down the negativity is now freed for constructive uses. There's an increase in available energy for creativity, growth, work, and interpersonal relationships. So all this energy that's been holding down all these expectations and all this emotion, it all gets rerouted into growth in your life instead. So we like that for you. All right. So that's what they have for you, Valerie. So many blessings to you. All right. Let me see where we're at here. We did that one. We did that one. All right. So, Moonlight 5, we are to you next. Let me grab your timestamp here. All right. So, thank you for your donation. And I am, you're okay? Question mark. I am okay. I'm balancing, and which it feels good to balance and be rested. And so I always encourage everyone. I know balance has always been my adventure, and so I'm not too prideful to say it was time for me to kind of simmer down and simplify, which is good. So you want to know, are you being too sensitive these days? Yes, we don't need cards for that. No, I'm just kidding. Taking in too much and letting it get to you. You're meditating, you're dancing, you're breathing, but it still feels heavy. You know, and we've talked about that. There's so much energy going on, and you being a Cancer moon, any water moons, any of us that have water moons or a lot of water in our charts, there is so much Cancer expansion energy. So every human is feeling expansiveness of emotion with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, our big, sugar daddy planet of growth and expansion moved into Cancer 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe now. And then we moved into the sun is in Cancer. We had a full moon in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. And then also we had a new moon in Cancer. So all of this emotional energy, Neptune yesterday just went into retrograde, the planet of inner reflection and spiritual connection and dream world just went retrograde, turning us all even more inward. So impacting us all even a little more. But Venus did go into Gemini, which brings us a little balance, right? So all this energy, that's when you said, are you being too sensitive? We're all, it's not that you're being sensitive, it's that you are sensitive and you're extra sensitive. Your senses, it's like if we had a little dial and normally 1 to 10 is like the 10 is the maximum that we feel like Cancer moons, you're already turned up to a number 10. But with all this energy, it's like the wheel could turn up more and you have your sensitivity is turned up. It's like turning up the volume. It's like, oh, my ears can hardly handle the volume. I thought I could only go up this more, but it's gotten louder. Well, the emotional energy has gotten much, much louder. So you're feeling everything bigger. It's all amplified even more. Um, and you're taking in a lot. Um, so that is there. Now, as far as letting it get to you, that is what we can work on, right? That's the stuff that we can adjust. And how do I deal with, um, that's the question you're asking is, well, how do I deal with all of this wave of emotion? So let's see what they have for you here, because you're meditating, you're dancing, you're breathing. Still feels heavy. It's like, yeah, it's a lot. It is definitely a lot. Um, Big powerhouse people that feel a lot of energy on a regular basis even are like, holy crap, So um, those of us who are not close to being enlightened masters, we're like, what do we do? So let's see what advice Spirit will give us here on how we can handle all of this wonderfulness. All right. Oh my gosh. So I love it that the bottom of the deck we have Chariot card, which is Cancer Moon energy. So I just love the validation of this is what a big part of it is your your energy field is designed to pick up on emotion. It's already sensitive to it all. And so you're like, whoa, it's like being sensitive to light and going out into the sun and going, whoa, um, because you're already sensitive to it when you step out into this bright light, it's going to impact us more than it would people who are used to being used to the light, kind of energy, if that makes sense, or don't have extra sensitive eyes. Underneath that, we do have the 10 of Wands. So that's the extreme amount of energy. So with both of those coming in here, that's confirming that. And then the first card out is the sun, the sun card. So again, talking about the sun, that the sun was also in the shining light into the emotional world of Cancer. It's just there's a lot going on here. And with all the other energies of change, um, everything, doesn't everyone feel like life just feels so full? It's just like our hearts feel like it's like if you eat way too much and you just I just feel it just almost feels like I can't move and I don't want to I feel like I'm going to explode. That's the way our hearts feel right now, this year. So big feels are definitely there. So that's all the confirmation of that. um I don't know if there's really anything else with that. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, we have the Two of Wands. So our power of choice, especially the Chariot card on the bottom, which is the power of choice card, and now the Two of Wands. So the advice they give us is we can focus on the bright side and that grows, or we can whatever we focus on is going to grow even more. So, yeah, meditating, dancing, breathing all those things can help, because it changes our energy from outward on the chaos to focusing on joy and gratitude. As long as when meditating, as long as in dancing, as long as in our breathing, those physical actions that we're doing, what is energy are we having during everything, right? Because the more that it's focused on the gratitude, the unconditional love and joy and laughter and play, um, you know, that that expands higher vibration energies. So it's being aware, like if I'm focusing on the heaviness of the energy, then I'm going to feel more heavy, right? And so if I'm like, why am I still feeling heavy? I'm like, okay, why am I focusing my energy on heaviness? Let me return back. It just means I need more joy. It just means I need more focusing on joy and gratitude, more gratitude, more gratitude. And if we find ourselves being drawn out into things, then reminders throughout the day, especially during this period, a silent vibrating alarm every waking hour of gratitude, just gratitude. And it's thinking of one thing to be grateful for in the moment. And then anytime we're feeling uh, maybe a ritual of filling up with love and having it flow out to the world. If I'm feeling heavy, then the entire world is feeling heavy. So I'll grab my singing bowl and just bong it. And I just allow this energy to fill me up and flow out. Because if it's flowing out, then that energy is not flowing in. And so it's like, let me do as much as I can of sending love out to the world, filling up with love and out to the world, up with love, out to the world, and limiting as much as I can of eyes and ears and nose and mouth and my senses of being around lower vibration as much as I can. Very little news, very little things besides funny comedies, things that are entertaining instead of things that, draw me inward. So sometimes that can help. Let's see what else. Yep, the Hermit, the Seven of Swords. So we can look here too. We can ask Spirit to show us what fears are bouncing around below the surface. Because there is a time, spending 90% of our time focusing on higher vibration. But if there's something that's just like, I don't know if you ever had a sibling going, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, or a child that's, hey, 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 trying to get our attention. That's what happens. If there's something that's just grinding at us, that's a trigger that it's important to look at, and we can look at a situation on what is bothering me about this. And if we need help with that, there's a great tool that came across my path from Byron Katie. She has a website, thework.com, THEWORK.com. She's got a YouTube channel too. But they and here, I'll put that down in the chat here just for anyone that wants that too. Because she has a great process called a judge your neighbor worksheet, which is an awesome thing because it allows you just to throw up on the page from your ego all the, like, when this person does this, this is how I feel, blah, 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 blah. This is what they should do and to make me feel better, and this and this and this. And then there's these turnarounds where you get to helps you get to the root. So doing that kind of thing can help us too, because um the sun card is also shines a bright light on those things in our life that can be transformed and let go. So some of the things that feel heavy, we can snip away, and then it allows us to rise more too. So some things that are drawing us down, we can get to the root of, transform it so it's not a weight anymore, and we can move higher too. Yeah, you got the Three of Cups. Focus on joy, celebration, getting together with happy people, not sadsy, dramatic, low vibrational focused individuals, but like-minded people that raise vibration is important. Find your tribe, find your new tribe. Individuals that seek spirit in a uplifting way, can help too. And of course, we've got our Zen friends here. We're all supportive. We're all full of love, right? So um, we can all help each other out too. What else? We have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, leave behind relationships that don't serve you anymore, and emotions that don't serve you anymore too. And yeah, the Ace of Pentacles, new opportunities. So this Eight of Cups to the Ace of Pentacles, can also be here about letting go and, sending, um, I wouldn't say sending people away, but you don't have to send people away. You can just stop interacting with certain people, as well. So, you can think about those here. Let's see here. Sorry. Carrying others in your backpack. Oh, that's perfect. I love that analogy. That is what it is, right? Yeah, why I chose to stay home today. And you ate too much too? See? So that could be why you're feeling heavy too. I'm just so full. But yeah, just being aware of everything that we're doing can help out. You crack me up. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Let's see what your fortune cookie is here. But I feel like if it's the energies and just helps us realize and not beat ourselves up like I must be doing something wrong to feel all this. It's like, no, it's what we knew when we came in here. I know I've got a stellium and Pisces and a water trine, a grand water trine and a small water trine that makes a water kite, which is even more amplified water energy. Just and I'm like, no wonder. Yeah. Surrender your fear of change. And it says, the universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or relationship, or you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. And then believe it, right? I have faith. I trust that all is well. I trust you, Creator, that all is well. I love it. Beautiful. You are very welcome, Moonlight. Good to see you. Thank you again for your donation. And hang in there. Hey, Kitty Cat Black. I love it. Look. And I think we had Cat Goddess in here too. Do you like your cat shirt? All right. So, hey, everybody that I didn't get to say hello to. So, I am still working on donations. Let's see, it's been an hour. I'll be on for a couple more hours. I'll give an update here after I'm done with Tanya's 2 donations. And because I've had others that have come in since then to let you guys know where we're at. So we'll do that. All right. So, Tanya, thank you so much for your donations. Let's give you your timestamps here. Boom. So that's ×2. So we'll have those together. So let's give the first one a love and a like here since it lets me. Let me take a sip of my Dutch Brothers that my host gave me here. I'm so blessed. In between sessions, I went upstairs. She went to tell me a story. I went to get the dog food out of the car. And her black lab was like, oh, where are we going? Because when they hear keys, whenever I and her and keys are together, it usually means we're going somewhere. And she's like, and so my host looked at me and goes, do you want to just go grab a coffee? And we're like, all right, let's go. And the black lab, she gets so excited. And so spending time with animals too is a wonderful energy because they're so damn adorable, aren't they? Aren't they? All right. So Tanya, thank you for your first donation. You want to know, will Andrew ever come around after our argument? Well, let's take a look here. What is going on with Andy? Andy. I know he probably hates that. Andy. Okay. Let's see here. 1 and 2, and I don't think it's that one. Um, it's these two, 1 and 2 and 3. Is there something growing here? Let's see what we have here. All right. We do have the Knight of Wands, which represents, of course, it's the Knight of Wands, the horse on fire. It's the very fast horse, but it's also it kind of represents an energy of a frying pan, somebody that flies off the handle. If you ever saw them, the cartoon movie In and Out, no, Inside Out. It's the one with the characters inside the little teenage girl that represent like they had joy and sorrow and fear and but the one that they had was anger. There's this little red guy, and he would just be like da 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 da, and then rah, fire flaming out of his head, and that's kind of what I feel represents Andy is that they do have that fiery personality that they heat up fast, they cool off fast too, but it doesn't mean that they don't pout either. But I feel like it doesn't take much to, rah, and I feel like that's the underlying energy. Let's see what's building here. So your first card, they have the Emperor, Aries energy. Are they in Aries? Are you here, Tanya? So uh, you know, um, if they are in Aries, when they're in their low vibration, their lower expression, of course, that is very much fiery personality. It's funny, my host, she works with like almost all Aries and other. If it's not that, it's mainly there's like a one or two off, but the rest are fire signs too. And she's a fire sign. She's a Sagittarius, but she's like, oh my god. I'm like, well, if like, what's going on? Why is everyone freaking out at work? And I'm like, well, the moon went into Aries today. Oh, I get it. Or, oh, it's a full moon in Aries. Oh, that explains a lot. But, so this is that kind of energy of, but in the Emperor, with this energy around them, it is about them trying to figure out what they want. And once they calm down, they can think more clearly on what they want to take action around. Let's see what this is building to, because that's the first step is getting, like the Emperor, getting control of my fire, right? We have the Judgment card and the Page of Cups. All right. So this is good because the Judgment card is about an invitation from our higher self to see things from a higher perspective. And then the Page of Cups is a heightened love, a heightened emotion, which is a good sign. I feel like they get their they get their I'm trying to say it a nice way, but they get their anger and fire calm, and then they are able to come back into their instead of being in their 2-year-old self with their pet hissing cat here, which is what we do when we feel unsafe and out of control, which we know both of you did go into that because there wouldn't be an argument unless there's two cats hissing at each other. Because when we're in our adult mind, our intelligent, loving, compassionate side, we don't argue. We're in a wonderful place of adulthood. We can talk through things and that, but as soon as our inner child feels unsafe or out of control, then alarms go off. Our intelligent gets knocked out. The intelligent, compassionate, loving side, our 2-year-old self and the pet hissing cat are in charge, which you know how that goes. We do stupid, unintelligent, unloving, uncompassionate things. And then afterwards, we're like, man, but we know we felt unsafe and out of control too, or we wouldn't be arguing back. But what happens is when someone else goes into the hissing cat, if there's this hissing cat coming flying at you, we don't just go, what's going on? We go into a to protect ourselves, right? So we get defensive, then we attack one another, or we hiss and run away. And so when we both calm down, we're able to look at things from a different perspective and see what my part is. Where was I fearing? what was I fearing in this interaction? Because that'll tell us a lot about our own self too. What was going on inside this little thing. Let's see what this is building up to. We do have the King of Pentacles. That's a victory, solid foundation kind of energy. We like that. We have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, it's facing our fears is important here. And the Eight of Pentacles. If we'll put in the blood and sweat and tears, then we can both come around, right? Um, because, like we said, an argument takes two people, and if there's an argument, then we can't control anyone else. We can only control our own thoughts, our own emotions, our own energy, our own actions, our own words. So we can look at, what was I fearing? Why did I react to what was going on, over there? Because then that's how communication happens. If we are pointing fingers at each other, that's never going to get anywhere. There's never going to be a peace treaty if we're blaming each other. But when we take accountability for each of ourselves, then sometimes if we reach out, and I know we hate being the ones that always have to reach out first, but when we understand that everyone's a reflection of us, then we can see what we're wanting to see about ourselves too. It does feel like here that they will eventually come around here. I just feel like with their energy, they hate um admitting fault because they've got these fears. And it's kind of like they live in a black and white world of all or nothing. Like I'm either a victor or a failure. And so if there's anything wrong, then they go from being at 100% or a zero. You can only make 100 on the test or a zero. There's nothing in between in their book. And so admitting fault means I have to admit I'm a failure. And they're not ready for that. But if we can both approach it in communication, that's why communication is so key in relationships if we want them to grow and maintain, is to be able to not look at what someone else is doing and look at, why did I react? What's going on in here? Because then if one of us can remain calm in a situation, then it doesn't have to escalate, right? I learned that in working in customer service in call centers for decades because even I managed and worked on escalation call lines. And, the thing you realize and seeing the same thing over and over again is, if someone, because by the time they got to me, they've gone through two or three people. When they got to me, with me remaining calm, and people are like, just saying, hey, this is, brudda-zen. How can, even just saying that, hi, this is brudda-zen. Um, uh, how can I help? And they're like, you can't do nothing besides blah 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 blah. And if I was like, well, you don't even know me, or anything like that, it's just gonna explode. But I'm just like, all right, well, I'll definitely see what I can do. And this is what I understand the situation is. Is that correct? And with me keeping at this tone and keeping down, they would and 9 times out of 10, most people would, end up apologizing. "I'm so sorry that I was so rude at the beginning." And I'm like, "Oh, no, I get it," because I understood fear, so if we do that, then we can understand that. So hopefully that helps. Hey, Tanya. He's a Virgo, but his rising sign is Aries. So he does see the world through Aries. Wow. Yeah. And it can be maybe well, I mean, you can't upset anyone, right? People are triggered because we can't just walk around on eggshells all the time. But we can talk about our fears and go, I'm sorry that I said this, and I understand my fear around it, and I would love to understand what's going on and what you were feeling with all this, because I love you and I've got your back, and I want to be there for you because I know you'd be there for me, because that's who we are. We're two musketeers. It's, us against the world, baby. So we're here for supporting one another, but I want to be vulnerable with you and I want to be able to show you this if we really want that, right? It's like, is it worth all that? Maybe, maybe not. But I mean, that is a great way, to look at it. But there's a lot of great people on Instagram that talk about how to get people talking, how to approach these kind of things too, and if they have a lot of past traumatic situations in their own life, they're just going to regurgitate them. And but yeah, I feel like if you will take some time just to look at what was triggering inside of you to do your own growth, um, it may not matter if they ever come around. And you might be like, I'm done with needing you as my mirror. But it's about, looking at yourself, I feel like is the big message with spirit here. I feel like they'll eventually come around, but I feel like this is an opportunity for you to see what you want to see about yourself. And that's what we'll realize is until we see what we've asked others to show us about ourselves, we'll continue have a variety of people show us what we're trying to see about ourselves till we see it. I know I've gone through this quite a bit in my past, especially my longish relationships for 10 years worth. I go, why do I keep ending up with people who disrespect me in different ways? Because they were showing me how I was disrespecting myself. And I'm like, why do I keep seeing this? And then, like, because they're all mirrors, buddy. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then after that, I didn't need those teachers anymore. So let's see here. Love is the ultimate law in the universe. Your fortune cookie says it is the energy that radiates when the blocks to it have been surrendered. It is more than an emotion or a thought, it's a state of being. Love is what we have become through the pathway of surrender. Lovingness is a way through which we light up the world. So it is always a reflection for us to come back to us and see what we want to see about ourselves and where we are not loving ourselves, and things like that, right? Oh, isn't that wonderful? And what's amazing is stepping back and listening to other people's words, because what people say has little to do with us. What we say and do is a reflection of who we are on the inside. What they do or say is a reflection of what's going on in there. And when you switch all that around, you know, when he says, "You deserve it," picture him in front of a mirror saying that to himself. "You deserve what you get." Like, wow, what a harsh person he is to himself, right? Because, you know, that's exactly if you look at everyone in the world, all the fingers they're pointing at everyone else, they're pointing at themselves. Because I'm sure we all have had friends who are like, "I can't believe that person. They're late to everything. They're never on time." And I look at them and going, you are saying that about them?" And they're like, "Yeah." I go, "Do you know how many times you've been on time for these? Anything we get together in?" "Well, that's different." Yeah, sure it is. Yeah, hurting people hurt people. It's so true, right? And so when we understand that, and that any interactions and arguments that we have with people are really for us to show us something we want to see about ourselves, and it's to help us free ourselves from the stuff that's already bubbling down, impacting us below the surface, but it's bubbling up for us to see it so we can release it. Because if we keep things bottled, suppressed, emotions down there for too long in our lives, they'll leak out into our physical body and go whoop whoop whoop. Hey, you need to look at this, kind of energy too. So hopefully that helps for that one. good information, good for us all. So I love how we all glean from all each of our journeys, right? All right. So for the second one, let's give that a love and a like as well. Thank you for your second donation. I want to know overall energy for the rest of the weekend for you. All right. Let's take a look here. What does Spirit want you to know about your energy for the overall weekend? Okay. Do you want this one? Ooh, and these two are below there, and maybe I at least wanted that one. And oh, they want these two. Okay. Oh, look at this. So you have the bright sun energy here. This is a great opportunity. The sunlight is there. It does shine a bright light on so many different areas of our life, even the little dusty corners with cobwebs. It is the inner child energy too. So there is some, you know, um, again, that bubbling below the surface energy that we can look at. So it seems like a kind of a self-reflective rest of your weekend with things shining light right at this time, as all emotions are expanded during this time too, where everything's just psh, 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 with all the astral energy that we have going on. Jupiter going into Cancer and the sun moving into Cancer, and just all this fun energy that's just blowing our emotions up. So there's all this sort of stuff that's coming to the surface now. We're like, whoa, what is that? So there is quite a bit there looking at that, because there can be some energies around being blamed when you were younger. We're talking about emotional inner child, 7 years old and younger, about being blamed and blamed and blamed and blamed, and blaming yourself, as well, feeling responsible for other people's emotions and emotional choices, hearing you made mommy sad, you made daddy mad, and like, wow, look how powerful you are as a young child controlling adults' emotions, which we know now everyone chooses their own emotions. Yeah, we make it easier or harder for people to choose emotions, but in the day, you can give someone the world, they can still choose to be in a bad mood. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to focus in on my own mental choices, my own emotional choices, my own energy, my own actions. Everyone else, I can't control or change. It's really not worth the energy to invest in it. It's another thing I learned being a manager in corporate life is you can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. All right, let's see what else your energy for the weekend is here. We have the Justice card balancing here of the scales. I like that. That reminds me of Wonder Woman. You're going to be Wonder Woman this weekend, ricocheting off all the bullets with your magic bracelets, right? And I like this though because you're seeing things from a higher perspective. You're cutting away some small t truths that don't serve you anymore, and they kind of go here, that we have there. So we do have that coming in there. You have the Wheel of Fortune. This is a good energy because this is your human also side, just realizing that everything in life happens for me, that I can experience life happening to me, and that's where we get to experience victimhood. But when we're ready, we can step into that. How have things happened for me? Why did I want this to happen in my life? And that is a big eye opener to realize I'm not on an out of control drama train that's about to leap off the tracks. I'm the the engineer driving the whole thing. I'm the one guiding things with my energy. And so I wanted this to happen for me. So what gift is in this for me? What did I want to see? Because I don't want to go back on the railroad track back around again. I want to continue going forward, right? So I like this, for you, because I feel like this is great aha energy for you. You have the Page of Wands. So there is a bit of an energy upgrade here for you, a bit of awareness about where you're focusing your energy. Yeah, you got the King of Swords, the Chariot. So kind of what we were talking about with this here, which the King of Swords rules over our wisdom, able to see things differently, see things from a different perspective. And the Chariot card is what I was talking about, the power of choice earlier, that when we realize that no one makes me feel a certain way, I choose to feel a certain way. Um, uh, Whatever happens out in the world doesn't mean anything until it gets in here, till I apply the story of what that means. Um, I bring into my life the energy that I choose to focus on and my physical action. So, four areas that we do, and we have that, energy that, comes in here. So, we do have this, um, awareness of your energy, and whatever I'm focusing on is what I draw to me. And that things are like with that Wheel of Fortune, that I do draw things in also on purpose for me to learn and to grow through this too. So I like that. I feel like it's a big kind of aha kind of weekend for you. You do have the star card here too, which is a great balancing energy. There's like usually seven stars in addition to the big bright star, which is like your higher self. It's the balancing of the chakras. I feel the rest of the weekend is about balancing, coming into yourself, stepping away. I would be surprised if you had a high priestess, no. But it is being aware here. Yeah, the 8 of swords is being aware of your own thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that have made you feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted in the past. These are small t truths that are rooted in fear that are being released. And the Tower card, yeah. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower card, both of these energies are about, well, the Tower card specifically is kind of, it's still everything happens for us. And when someone or something is blasted out of our life, it's to make space for something that's more in alignment with our higher self and where we're wanting to head in life. It blasts things out of the path so that we can move forward towards something that's more in alignment with who we want to be. And we can trust it that what is meant for us never passes us by. And if something does end up leaving and, separating, that it is for us in the long run. And that it's that tower that gets burnt down gets replaced with like you know, a big, I don't know, new castle with four towers. And you're like, wow, if it's an upgrade, then this works, right? So I like that. So that is what we have, Tanya. And then your fortune cookie says, although letting go seems simple and easy, its ultimate effects are profoundly powerful. Ooh, letting go, right? It says we can picture it being similar to the wheel of a ship. If we make even a 1 degree change in the compass, we'll notice a little difference, but that change will end up taking us to a very different place, many miles from our original course. So I love that. So hopefully that helps a little bit there, Tanya. Thank you again for your donations. Greatly appreciate that. All righty. So that is what I had listed for donations. I know there's more, so we'll check into that. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Nelia, for helping everyone out with their questions here. If you're new here, check out the description box of the video. It tells about all the process. We do donations first, and I'll give an update here as I see who is up next here. Just need to bounce back and forth between the chat and email here. So up next, we do have JB, and then Nelia Medeiros. Hey, Nelia. Oops, let me spell your name correctly here. There we go. Let me see here. Okay, I did that one. And then Yesenia Marquez. Marquez? Whoops. Looks like they're trying to autocorrect. Oh, okay, there we go. I think that's right. All right. Okay. Okay, very good. Yes, Nelia was correct. Elsa, you'll be up after that. And then I do believe we jump over to Z PayPal. So Maria P. Hello, Maria, via Z PayPal. You'll be up after that. And that might be it. Let me just scroll down here. Yes. So that's where we are at so far. And we're about an hour and a half in. I'll be on for about another hour and a half. So if we finish up the donations, then I do start at the very top on the free readings, and then we work our way down. All right. So JB, let's grab your timestamp here. 124:25. And thank you guys so much for your patience in getting to your readings. All right, so JB, let's find you here. My mouse went wild. There we go. Let's give that a love and a like. And let's see here. So, hey, bud. No contact from your recent ex. And so you want to know what's going on with that, it seems, right? Let's take a look here. So, like, I want to know if there's any reconciliation or what the heck is going on, right? Let's see here. I feel like we want those like that. I feel like we've got more over here, so we'll take a look at those too. All right. Nine of Pentacles here. There is a bit of an energy of being alone. Nine is the Hermit's number, and the Nine of Pentacles is kind of like being alone in the outside world. So I do feel like there is a period here of reflection and connection. Not like you're in solitary confinement or anything like that, but there is this energy of being to yourself and being alone. And we have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is an energy of like, I'm tired of trying to be who everyone wants me to be, and a release of expectations of supposed to be's and should be's and need to be's and have to be's. And so there is this period of time, it's like you've been given to really think about what are all the things where I feel they failed, the relationship failed where I failed, because that will really point out expectations, which are really opinions, small t, truths rooted in fear that were given to us growing up about, they do sound like should be, could be, or not could be, should be, supposed to be, must be, have to be. It's all these things we're told on what this is relationship is supposed to be, who they're supposed to be, who they're supposed to be in the relationship, how the relationship is supposed to unfold, what it's supposed to include, what it's supposed to mean for me, what it's supposed to give me, who I'm supposed to be in the relationship. It's exhausting. Expectations are what suck the life out of relationships and really anything else that we have expectations around, because we have all these expectations that take all this energy just to get up to ground zero, but without expectations all this abundance comes in faster. So there is like releasing. Why do I think all this stuff has to happen? How am I using that to define my worth? Because that's really what it comes down to. These expectations are what needs to happen in order for me to be lovable and for me to be worth something. And so it's an important time to look at that. You have the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Wands. Yeah, it would be a while before anything happens here, because the Seven of Pentacles is about the last thing that grows on a fruit tree is the fruit. And the Page of Wands is the energy that needs to be invested into the activity here that we talked about in order, because you can't go back and have things be what it's always been and expect a different result, right? We do what we have always done, we get what we've always gotten. So there has to be change in order to have change in activity too. So this time it's giving you to be able to do that. You have the Emperor. Yep. So this is you with the energy deciding. The Emperor it's pretty cool. It's like what we've been talking about too, to an extent, where the Emperor realizes all these people in the throne room are all blah 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 about this is what you're supposed to do with the kingdom, all these expectations, right? Supposed to and should and need to and have to, and they're contradictory. And he realizes, I can't please all these people. And wait a minute, I'm the king in kingdom, I'm the emperor in empire. So everyone clear the throne room, leave your opinions in that box by the door. Now I'm going to decide what I want in my life, not with all these opinions that I've heard all everywhere. I'm going to make a plan and I'm going to put the energy behind it. And so this is this period of time. You do have the Three of Wands, which tells us with new information, you decide to take things in a different direction. And the death card is the ending and beginning energy. So I do feel like here that once you look at it all and you do that inner reflection, that with this new information, you may not want to go back and you want to go forward and you'll change your course and want to go somewhere different. Let's see what these last four cards tell you here too. Yeah, Three of Swords, expectations equal disappointment. The heartbreak we felt, it's just fear based on expectations not being met, that it means something about us. But all this does is point us back to these thoughts and beliefs that don't serve us, these that are rooted in fear, that are not true. And so it's an important piece of this because if we don't remove that expectation, expectations equal disappointment. So just because one person didn't meet up to it, if we try another one, like they say, the reflection we see in the mirror doesn't change until the person looking in the mirror changes. We'll keep seeing the same thing repeat over and over till we make a change in here, right? You have the Sun card. So there is brightness coming your way in the future. If we let those expectations go, Eight of Cups is about leaving behind emotions and people that no longer serve you to move forward. So I feel like there is a bit of energy here. Yeah, you have a higher love with the Page of Cups headed out. So all this is basically saying you're having this pocket of things away where you're learning about yourself, you're understanding your perspective of what you were meant to learn, what you wanted to learn through this experience, to be freed from things. And then you're like, I don't want to go backwards. And I don't see that your pathways cross back with this X, that, use the time alone, which is happening on purpose with that Seven of Pentacles. That last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit, because you're understanding, I got some fruit that grew on this tree and it didn't taste so well, right? It wasn't, otherwise you'd still be in a relationship together. The fruit of what unfolded was kind of a bit bitter and sour, right? And you're like, I was looking for something more of a sweeter fruit. So I'm gonna sell that orchard and I'm gonna buy a different kind of tree or a different type of bush that grows different fruit so that I don't taste that again. And I feel like this is the realization and the changes that come forth here for you. So I feel like that's what they have for you, JB. Let's grab you a fortune cookie too, real quick here. Let me just put these cards back in to the deck here. Take just a sec here. I like to put them in separate so it's all the cards don't keep coming out together, so we get more pure readings. Ooh, let's see what your fortune cookie is here. All right. So you got the letting go means simply to let the feeling be there and to focusing on letting out the energy behind it. And on the back it says the technique is to be with the feeling and surrender all efforts to modify it in any way. Let go of wanting to resist the feeling. It is resistance that keeps the feeling going. So allowing yourself to feel the feels, those things that you might have pushed down during the relationship, because that allows things to flow. So hopefully that helps, JB. That's what they have for you. So many blessings to you. All righty. Oops. Flying by. All right, Nelly Maderos, you are up at 134 even. Look at that. Boom. Thank you for being a moderator. I appreciate that. And thank you for your donation, your big thinking emoji. So, what will your experience be like with the cast group? Does Spirit see you joining other groups? Will you fit in with them better? Anything else Spirit wants to say? All right, let's take a look here. Let me take a sip here. All right. So, what will your experience be like with this cast group? Any way you choose. You're the one who decides that, right? But let's see what, based on your current energies, what you choose. Does spirit see you joining other groups? So based on your current energy, do you choose other groups? All right. One card for that. Would you fit in with them better? Okay. Easy breezy. And anything else spirit wants to say? So we do have that one. And these two here. All right. What do we have here? So, bottom of the deck, you do have the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is about heightened opportunities in the outside world, going from a 10 to an 11. So, we'll see what that's about here, I'm sure. But definitely new opportunities that are coming forward here in your future later throughout this year. What's your experience going to be like with this cast group? Got the Two of Cups. Do you feel like you will find some important relationships here with the Two of Cups? Not love. It doesn't feel like romance, though. It just feels like some important connections with, I feel like, two people. This feels familiar. Did we ask about this cast group before? Because it feels like this reading came back from maybe a month or so ago. It just like, for those to come back, we know that's not me, that's spirit. So, but I feel like there's two important relationships that you glean from this cast group. Um, you have the Six of Swords. You do learn through here, which that's why good, negative are judgments. Spirit doesn't see things as good or bad, just different choices, different experiences, different outcomes. And I feel like with the Six of Swords, with leaving behind old ways of thinking and moving to new ways of thinking, that does bring in a feeling of challenge, right? Because it takes us from choppy waters to calmer waters, but there is this energy about like the way that we grow is usually through suffering, growing pains by being not being challenged, but feeling challenged on the inside. So, like if someone has a different way of looking at things and we're like, whoa, what that just kind of shook me, right? Because I never thought of that before, right? So I'm like, But so I feel like there is growth that happens, and growth can feel uncomfortable sometimes. And I like it. So magician, as I was saying. Well, it depends. Your experience depends on your energy, right? You have the power of choice. If I focus my energy on what I'm grateful for, what I enjoy, then I get more of that. If I focus on what people aren't doing and how snippety that person is and how rude that person is and how stupid that person is, I get more stupid. Well, wait, that sounded bad. I do get more stupid, but I get more of stupid. I get more of bitter. I get more of whatever I'm focusing on that grows instead. So your experiences with anywhere and anything all are reflective here because we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So if I'm looking out here going, look at that. Look how stupid. Oh, wait, there's three fingers pointing back at me. Uh-oh. So, that helps us go, oh, yeah, let me look at myself a little bit here, right? But I love it because your experience depends on what you focus on, not just you're not at the whim of the group. You get to choose what kind of experience you want by the energy that you put out and that you focus on. So I like that. Does spirit show you joining other groups? You have the strength card here. Maybe a gym, a workout. No, I'm just kidding. Ew, no way. The strength card, Leo energy. And Leo season is coming up here, July 20th um, to August 20th. So I do feel like there is a group that comes across your path during that time here. Let's see, is that more of a, will you fit in with them better? Two of Wands, which is it depends on what you focus on. I love how they just keep on bringing it back to that because it's so important for us to realize My experiences have little to do with what's going on out there because I'm the one that puts the story to everything. I'm the one that chooses my emotion around everything. I'm the one that chooses to grow things with my energy, and I'm the one that chooses my own actions. So our experiences have little to do with what's actually going on in the outside world and so much what's with what is going on in here instead. So that's really good to know when it comes to all that. Um, so it's like it doesn't matter wherever you go, there you are. So they're like, your experiences will be the same no matter where you go, because whatever you're needing to have mirrored to you will be mirrored for you. Yay! That's good, right? Anything else Spirit wants to say? You got the Four of Swords, peace of mind. And peace of mind, don't go around giving everyone a piece of your mind. This is about being at peace. And that happens when they're sleeping on the Ace of Swords, letting expectations go. They'll have the three swords on the wall and someone sleeping on the Four of Swords. The Ace of Swords is the fourth sword. Three of Swords is expectations. Well, we have expectations. We're going to have disappointments. Like they should be doing this. They should be saying it this way. Blah, 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 blah. More of that focusing on lack and more of lack, right? But when we're focusing on the gratitude, looking at things from a higher perspective, realizing that everything is trying to reflect something to tell me about myself, then I spend a lot of time in conversations with people instead of looking, going, why are they being that way? To go, oh, why am I being this way? Right? A lot of great reflection that comes in with that. So I love that. Anything else Spirit wants to say in that? We have the Six of Pentacles that equal giving and receiving. That's good there. And the Queen of Cups. Yeah. Queen of Cups, of course, rolls over the cup suit, gets a second portion of cups. Very empathic, very aware of people's emotions. And so I feel like a big piece that you glean through all this too. One is awareness of that tendency to feel like you have to overgive to get very little in return. Feel like you're learning through these groups and interactions to receive and to give equally instead of feeling like you have to give 1,000 love coins to get one back. So I feel like you're really growing a lot in allowing people to be grateful and to give to you and not to have this feeling. You might even have restriction that people aren't letting you give. And you're like, oh, why aren't they letting me give? That means they don't want me. That means I'm nothing. That goes back to our childhood, right? But it's like teaching you that you don't have to give. You deserve to receive even without giving. What? That scares the crap out of overgivers, I know. But I like that for you. And the Queen of Cups, too. I feel like you're learning a lot in these groups about, especially as all of our emotions are expanding right now, on how you can pick up the energies from um, other individuals and learning to put up a bigger bubble to protect yourself from feeling and taking on everyone's emotions, but seeing the difference between other people's emotions and your emotions, uh, between the emotions you're feeling now and the emotions of your inner child, and the difference between all of that and your past life emotions that are also bubbling around in this day and age at higher degrees as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Hello, you're free today. You have time. Yay. A month ago. Oh, good. I get you. All right. I'm so glad. All right, my dear, my dear. So that's what they have for you there. Again, thank you so much for your donation and being active in the chat. I appreciate you. All right. So Yesenia is up next. So Yesenia, look, you were at 144 even. All right. So let's put that down here. Boom. And let's give that a love and a like here. So thank you so much for your donation. And you wanted to know, will Carlos try to reach out to reconcile the relationship? All right. Let's take a look here. Carlos. Carlos. Basically looking into his current energies here. See if he's This energy has changed. Oh, I will. Cards are flying here. Let's see what his underlying energies are. I don't feel that one in here. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right. Well, first we have the Fool card here. The Fool card is the zero card. It's the ending of an old cycle, the beginning of a new adventure. So it does signal something more of that they are on a new adventure. They feel free. They feel like no restrictions. And this could or could not have anything to do with you at all, that they had a pressure on themselves of all these expectations, these supposed to be, should be's, need to be's, have to be's, and they felt pressured and like they couldn't do anything right. Now they feel like a lion that's escaped a cage and they're out running in the jungle. And this full card if it has that feeling of freedom, of possibilities with them. We have the Wheel of Fortune too, which the major arcana number 10 of endings and beginnings, and the wheels of fate turning. That's what this third card is here too. Yeah, the Five of Wands, which is the transformation of energy that feels like it goes from drama to something more loving here too. Based on this, and we'll look and see what these other underlying energies are. But with that energy alone by itself, it feels like they are more apt to move forward than backward. The Five of Wands and this, Wheel of Fortune turning, it's like they're always looking for the next adventure, the next adventure, the next adventure. I don't feel like they miss people, like friends, family, jobs, whatever. They just forward, not backward, because that requires reflection and change. And no, 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 I'm just going to move forward onto the next thing, right? So I don't feel so much that. Let's see what else is below the surface here. We do have the Ace of Cups, which can represent new love and focus on self-love. We have the Three of Pentacles, being true to one's authentic self, and the Four of Wands, joy and celebration and gatherings. So this underlying energy underneath all of this kind of reinforces it, that they're looking for uh, where they can just be true to their authentic self and they don't have to try to fit in and be someone else and have intentions. And again, that lion caged feel. They're all about the joy, the being true to themselves, and allowing their love to be what their love is, kind of energy. But they're kind of in a cycle of, if love doesn't work, then they leave, and when they start to feel it constrict, they leave, they start over, they enjoy freedom for a while, then they find love, and then the cage starts to fill in, they leave when it starts to feel like the cage is closing in, because that's like what they feared the most, or a lot anyway. Yeah, the Ten of Pentacles, they like the idea of relationships, but when they get in one, they like the idea of being out of a relationship until they're out of a relationship, and then they see people in relationships. Then they like the idea of being in a relationship until they get in one. Then they see people who are not in a relationship, and they're like, I really want to do that. So they have this endless cycle of thinking that their happiness lies in that situation. But because they're unhappy on the inside, no one on the outside can make them happy, because no one can. We have to find happiness in here. It doesn't matter who we're with until we find that. We're going to keep searching. And until we realize that, we're going to keep thinking it's everyone else that's not making me happy, not me. But eventually, usually, a lot of times, we'll recognize, why does this keep happening in all these relationships? Well, there's a common denominator, ourselves. And then we can look at and go, okay, well, if I keep having the same thing happen over and over again, what is this trying to tell me? What did I want this to show me, right? So hopefully that helps. I know when it comes to love, I know it's hard to see that, but knowing that it's about what's going on inside of them, that they're going to keep going from person to person to person until they realize, wait a minute, there's something in common here. All right, let's see what your fortune cookie says here. The goal of letting go is the elimination of the very source of all suffering and pain. It's not named Carlos. Stop it, Yesenia. It says all negative feelings stem from the same source. When enough negative feelings have been relinquished, that source reveals itself. Wow, exactly what I was talking about, right? When that source itself is let go of and disidentified with, the ego dissolves. The source of suffering, therefore, loses the very basis of its power. So that's what we're talking about, right? That the same thing keeps happening over and over and over again, and because it's all coming from the same place within us, until we relinquish those fears and relinquish those senses of low self-worth and putting our worth out there, and we realize I'm the only one that can make me happy, and until I find inward and upward and find that, I'm going to be disappointed over and over in the outside world. So it's a great energy of awareness around Carlos, but it also tells us a lot about ourselves too, right? Always a lovely mirror, we all are, right? All right, so that's what we have there. So many blessings to you. All right. And then we are to Elsa Lopez. Elsa, let's grab your timestamp here. There's your timestamp. So thank you for your donation and your patience in getting to your reading. I really appreciate that. Let's give that a love and a like. And Jeff's feels of the first date. Will he ask you out again? Ooh, that's always fun, right? The first date. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's take a look here, Elsa. So how did Jeff feel about the first date? Let's take a look here first. Step into their let's see what they felt, but let's see what they thought too, because these are two different animals. The emotions feel what they want to feel, but the brain, they're detached. Let's see. So what were his thoughts of the first date? Because we're going to get Snoopy here. So we want this one and we want this one. Okay. Evidently that one too, that just leaped out of the deck. All right. And then, of course, based on current energies, will he ask you out again? All right. That'll be easy breezy with one card. All right. So how do you feel about it? All right. So I like this. We have the Page of Pentacles, which is a positive energy. Pages, it is about abundance. It's feeling of fullness. So their heart was like, they felt like it was a successful date. The Seven of Wands, they like this. They felt like you were someone who was honest and true to yourself. You weren't trying to be someone that you weren't. I feel like you were, um, authentic, and they could feel like you were being real, that you weren't just putting on this air to surprise them later. And the Page of Swords. Really enjoyed the conversation that was going on in here. This is the emotional side too. So they like the interaction, the conversation. They feel like it went really well. So the heart felt like check, check, check there. The mind, I know this is the thing, the mind, Six of Swords. That's good. Good flow of mental energy, letting go of old ways of thinking. Um, Looking at things from a higher perspective. It's a positive movement mentally of going from choppy waters to calmer waters. So any kind of jitters and things they were having, their mind felt very at rest during that as well. The Fool card, I like that. No expectations. They went in just allowing it to be what it was, the mind was. And yeah, and the Ace of Cups. So happy emotions too. It's interesting. We got the Page of Swords from the heart, which the Page of Swords is mind stuff. And then from the mind, we got the Ace of Cups, which is heart stuff. So they did connect in I like that between the two of these here, there was a good connection between mind and heart in agreement about you in a positive way. And then the little kind of connector, the card that came flying out by itself, the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is about energetic attraction and physical attraction. So we've got all three areas: mind, heart, and body, I guess we could say, passion. All of it was very much there. So I like that. Um, will they ask you out again? You have the King of Swords. King of Swords rolls over communication. They're the master of communication. It's a positive energy card here. They're big thinker, I feel like. Um, but I do feel like there will be new communication in here. So this does feel like they will ask you out again. So I like this for you. So good things. Now you get to think about, what did you think about them? Make sure to journal. What were your perceptions, so that you can look at it later if things go forward. You can go, look what I wrote about you after our first date. Make your predictions, right? All right. And let's get you your fortune cookie too. Can't forget that. Let's see what we have here. So what else about this date? All right. So we have this little card coming in here. Yeah, surrender worry. What a good card. Don't you worry about it. Whatever's meant for you will never pass you by. Excuse me, but it says make a commitment not to lead an anxiety driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that spirit is guiding you always. So you're in good hands. So I like that for you. Wow. Intelligent, attractive, and real. It almost sounds like the same, right? What a good reflection. So I love that. I love that. I love that. All righty. So that is what they have for you, Elsa. So enjoy. I look forward to your adventure. And thank you again for your donation. I greatly appreciate that. All right. So Maria P, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. All right. Let us scroll down on the email here. There we are. So let me take a little sip here. Whoops. I love that. No worry. You're like, I have let worry go. Just I love that for you. Beautiful. Okay. Maria, Wally's thoughts and feelings towards you tonight. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Anything that he would like to tell you that he hasn't? Okay. He knows you're not upset or bugged by him, right? I don't know. Let's see. Updates on the dark side tonight. Okay. A message from Walter to you. Message Walter to you. And then anything else you can see for you and Walter. All right. Yeah, up for your your updates. Yeah, you're here. No, I haven't gotten to any free readings yet. I'm still on donations. And I think I have a few more after this too, because I had one come through the CashApp. I see Christina, there might be another one too. So I have a few more yet coming up here. Let's take a look here. See what we got here, Maria P. So Wally's thoughts towards you tonight. We do, well, here's that 9 of Pentacles coming in and the Leo energy strength card coming in. So the 9 of Pentacles, they're still in that area. Energy that comes in here of, they just feel like this need for some space from everyone and everything. I feel like they're still in recovery mode. So just keep in mind that he's still like trying to keep his eyes open, and he's really slow-mo right now, in slow motion. But the strength card here, I do like this because this is that Leo energy, because you're a Leo, right? And you have this energy that just gives them this spark, and they love your energy because it just they could be feeling down and they can be feeling tired and all of this, but just your communication and interactions with them just makes them, oh, you're a Taurus. Why do I think you're a Leo? Well, I guess you have a fiery energy. Maybe you have a lot of fire in your chart or something because you just feel very spicy toward him anyway. He just feels like you give him this energy, this strength, this courage, and you're just very supportive. He just feels that kind of energy that comes from you, which Taurus, you're very grounded kind of energy, but um, I do like that, for you, and that's kinda where he's at on his feelings and thoughts right now. Anything he would like to tell you that he hasn't? I like this. So, the star card, which is dream come true energy, you know, don't know if he's really necessarily told you that you are a dream come true, and that you're like everything you would ever want in someone. Um, so I don't know if that they would, feel like they'd be able to, tell you that yet to that extreme anyway. And the King of Wands, you know, he has a lot of things he's deciding and choosing that he hasn't told you. Because again, we know this, and this is why I feel like Spirit tries to keep things vague. Because you know yourself better than anyone else, right? If they were to say anything, you wouldn't be able to just take it a step at a time. You would like, jump up, 1,000 spaces. I can't wait, I can't wait. It's like you don't tell a kid you're going to Disneyland or Disney World until the day before you're leaving because um, they'll bug you every day until you go. That's funny. All right. So that's what they have for that one for you. And he knows you're not upset or bugged by him. Three of Wands. I feel like here with the Three of Wands that um, most of the time he feels you're not upset or bugged by him. Because this Three of Wands is like, well, sometimes it feels like it goes off ramp, but then, like in Texas, they have what do they call them? Access roads. You can leave the freeway and be off alongside the freeway for a bit and then get back on the freeway. It is like you know, most of the time I feel like you're not upset or bugged by him, but he's like, but sometimes I feel like you are. Not so much that you're bug that he bugs you, but that sometimes you are upset with him because and that goes back to the um like not doing the things that you wish that they would be doing, that expectation stuff, right? Because he has that already and built inside of him, whether you feel this way or not. He feels like there's times he's disappointing you because you're not living up to the things that you feel like he should be doing. You know, that's why it's so much about less and less about expectations always and more about gratitude because energy is energy and people will pick up on it whether we're communicating it or not. So the more that we focus on what we're grateful for and with our own energy, even if we don't tell someone it, as long as we're focusing on gratitude as much as we can all the time, that energy they're going to pick up in their subconscious and it's going to make it, that way. Um, and doing all that. Well, sharing it too. Um, you know, so you can share as much gratitude as you want, "You know what? It makes me smile just when you hug me." "Really?" "Yeah." I feel like they've had so much of the opposite throughout their life that telling them as much, does that, right? Yeah, and so keep doing that because that helps too. But, you know, does he ever? Yeah. I feel like most of the time, like, yeah, he doesn't feel he's upset you or bugged, but there are occasions he takes an off ramp and he feels that way. Just like you take off ramps into your dark side, right? Into your expectations and fears. And you're like, well, okay, I'm done with that. Back onto the main road again, right? It's happens. We're all like that. Humans, it's part of our journey. Updates on the dark side tonight. Well, it seems like it's calmed down on the dark side, which is good. King of Cups, that's balance between head and heart. So it does feel like um, Wally is feeling the calmness of the dark side. The everyone, I think it feel like it's quieted down. So there's no fireworks going on between people. I feel like there's good calm going on, which is what we want for them. Not how you celebrated earlier when I said, "Oh, there's conflict and fireworks." Yes! Like, stop it. It's calm. We want what's best for Walter, right? For Wally. Because if Walter's freaking out, then there's not wonderful flow. When he's balanced in that world, then there's great things going on between the two of you. A message from Walter to you, 5 of Swords. Just the conflict between head and heart. I feel like they would tell you that, my heart wants so much, my head keeps me from doing so much that I want to do, and I'm working on it though. There is change of this conflict within me, and just to have patience with me, I feel is what would be his message. Anything else we can see for you and Wally? We got the 6 of Wands, we got victory, forward movement, and flow, equal passion, we know that. Queen of Pentacles, abundance, fruitfulness, harvest here. So all these positive things, and the Fool card, which is ending of an old cycle, the beginning of a new adventure too. So I like that, this energy with that. So we like it, we like it, we like it. All right. And then we'll get you a fortune cookie here. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Dulcie Joy. I do see a Cash App came through for you. Did you post a question somewhere? And Lucky, thank you so much. I did get a donation after I had ended the session, so I didn't know if that was for a question or if that was just a donation of uh, for the readings and stuff. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. So let me know if it was for a question though too, because I didn't get one. All right. So Maria P, when letting go, ignore all thoughts. Focus on the feeling itself, not on the thoughts. I like that. Thoughts are caused by suppressed and repressed feelings. When a feeling is let go, thousands or even millions of thoughts that were activated by that feeling disappear. That is such an important thing. It's like, because our emotional body's created first, when we have an emotion, there can be thousands of thoughts that are created, or like I said, millions of thoughts that are created around that emotional feeling. Because if it's a feeling of lower vibration, our mind will try to create all of these rules and thoughts and stuff around it to try to keep it from happening. If it's pleasure, it'll create all these thoughts and beliefs around it to make sure that happens again. All these constructs of thoughts and beliefs form from emotion. So when we transform an emotion from lower vibration to higher vibration, it can really change things too. So I like that. Boom, boom, boom. So I love that. All right. So that's what they have for you, Maria. Maria P. You are very welcome. Thank you again for your donations. I appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Let me see where we're at. So we did that one. Oh, let me see here. Slow down, mouse. I went flying by stuff here. There it is. All right, so up next we will have Christina. Hello, Christina. We'll look at that one and let's see here. Okay, and then we have Michelle Smith up after that. Dear Michelle. And then after that, we did have Delcy Joy. Let's see here. Delcy is your. Okay, yeah. So it says in your Cash App what your donation was for. So the question. So we will look at that. All right. So scroll. All right, here we go. So Christina, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. Boom, there we go. So thank you for your all-seeing eye, the sneak peek, and for your donation. So good evening. I had a wonderful 4th. I hope you did too. So a nosy tea love reading for July, August, and September. All right. Let's see what we got here. Let me shuffle one more time here. So, July, August, September. July? Cards come flying out. That's July. Okay, we've got August with that. I feel like one underneath there. And then here is September. All right, what do we got going on here? Bottom of the deck. For your overall love reading here, you got the King of Swords. So much in your mind, so much in your head, which, is an energy, just an awareness, of course. It's difficult for humans to get out of our heads because we've got so many stories that have been given us growing up about the supposed to be, the should be, the need to be, the have to be, the must be, all those stories about love and everything, really. But, you know, we get this long list and all this stuff from all these different people contradicting beliefs and everything else too. No wonder we're confused when it comes to what do I want? But our mind creates this mesh of all this stuff together going, all right, this is what love should look like. And go find that, and we're like, this doesn't exist. Why are you having me try to find this? But the mind has its own idea of what love is, which is very different from what the heart wants. And so this is the master of mind, the King of Swords, rolls over the swords mind and also gets a second portion of mind behind the scenes, which makes him the master. They have 2 parts air. So there's a lot of clarity that comes through the next 3 months on what you truly want and why you're thinking these things are what you want. So I feel like you're going to have opportunities coming up that are showing you what you don't want, uh, to show you and free you to have and show you what your heart wants. So let's take a look here. July, you have the Knight of Swords. So the quest of that higher truth, there's that Ace of Swords. So July is a big piece of this month, the action of mind, seeing things differently. Yeah, you have the Nine of Swords. So it's the facing the fears about what relationships mean about you, and when you're not in a relationship, what it means about you as well. Hey, Christina. So, uh, a lot of clarity coming in. This is where a lot of that, yeah, why do I believe that? Why is that? Even looking back at the disappointments you felt in the past, why did I expect this? Why did I expect that? Where does that story come from, right? And is it really what my heart wants or what I somehow have attached my worth to because someone convinced me to in the past? You have the 10 of Wands, reevaluating our energy around all this here in July too. So there is like an awareness. There's like 2 ways that we approach love. One is like living our passion, doing what we love, not worrying about finding someone, not making love our hobby, finding love our hobby, but doing things we love, the creative things, going out and doing all this wonderful stuff. And then uh, we bump into someone who's living their life, living their love, and we like end up doing the same thing, like a cuisine class together, and you're like, "Hey, blah blah blah," and you click and you spark and you hit it up, and then you end up in another cuisine class, and then you go out for coffee, and then you go to some different restaurants to try the different foods, and then you go out on a date, and then it develops into a relationship, and that organically grows. Do you feel how wonderful that feels compared to I put an it's like trying to fill a position in my life that I need love to feel good about myself, or in order for my definition and my worth to mean something, right? And so we put an ad out, which are dating apps or whatever, right? I put an ad out in the paper to fill a position in my life for love. And then I take applications, dates, right? I do background checks. I check their social media. We interview them. Well, interviewing is dating. Applications are, we start uh, accepting them, and then we hire them, realizing they lied on their resume all along. And then we end up firing them, and then we have to try to find and replace them with someone else, with a new applicant. We might be looking at several applicants. See how that feels like work, and it usually doesn't turn out the best versus that other feeling. That's what I feel like you're discovering a lot about. Why do I feel like I need da 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 when really this is how I can live my love? And if love unfolds, it becomes more like, I trust you, creator, that you're going to bring me the perfect person in the perfect time in the perfect way, till then I'm going to live my life, live abundance, live in gratitude about the thing, the maybe the relationships I have had in the past, what I've loved about. I love that about that one. I love that about that one. As we're having gratitude about it, then we're giving the creator the list of things that we would like for, the future as well. So I like that. That's for July. August, you have the Hierophant. So you definitely, it's your higher self showing you things from a higher perspective, some more ahas. Queen of Cups, you're really getting in tune with your own emotions in um, August here. And there is an energy of like, because your empathic abilities are huge, and to trust your intuition in August. Let's see what's under here too. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is one of my relationship cards. That's the underlying energy here. So I feel like August is like a, let's say July, you learn a lot about love and relationships and ahas. August feels like July's the classroom, and then it's like you're learning chemistry in the classroom, and August is the laboratory you go to, the lab that's attached to the class, where you go and blow up stuff. You try it out. Well, I think you're supposed to put these in, and your hair's all. No, we don't do that. You're learning through experience and trusting your gut and intuition about what you want, and you're learning in August. Yay. You have the Page of Swords in September. So here again, a lot of clarity coming in these next 3 months about all of this. And the Four of Swords, yeah, peace of mind, letting go of expectations, and the peace you have in September in what you've gleaned, and the knowledge you have and the awareness you have definitely brings you in different experiences in September. Yeah. Dun, da, da, da. Two of Cups. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have to put them up together because you got the Lovers card and the Two of Cups, September. So you're doing a lot. If you do this July and August, you do the classroom and you do the laboratory work. September, I feel, is with this energy is when you get a little meeting of a little relationship that's coming in here. So I like this for you. So we'll get you a fortune cookie here too. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm blushing. I like it. So, um, we can, if you want to make another donation to dive deeper, we can do that, to find out more about the person as a follow up. but we did a pretty in-depth reading. So just a fairness of everyone else. I do need to keep going on here. Um, Donation up next. We have Michelle and Delcy. I'm only going to be on for like 40 more minutes. Um, and I'll complete all the donations out this evening, but I'm not going to probably get to many free readings tonight. So apologies to everyone if you've been waiting for a free reading. I'm not sure if I'll get to any, if it'll be a small amount. But if you want to make a donation, I will complete them tonight. And if not, tomorrow is special with Sundays, when we whatever I don't complete between my 3-hour session from 11 to 2, I do come back on later in the afternoon and then complete out everything, even free readings. So if you've been trying, like it's a touch and go depending on how many free readings. Like Thursday night, I didn't have any free readings. Friday night, I completed everything. This morning, I didn't have any available for any free readings. And then we're getting very short period of time here. So I appreciate your, patience in getting to them. Sundays, if you're like, I just don't want to have to try to chance it each time, then definitely just wait and come on Sundays. As long as you put your question out there between 11 to 2, I'll complete those. And after each stream, I do put a pinned comment listing all the readings with the timestamp. So you can just click on it and it goes directly to your reading. So hopefully that helps everybody. All right. So sorry, Christina, your fortune cookie is surrender to the beauty of the natural world, which says take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. And that's good. Part of that, the classroom, getting away from everything, being able to, you know, um, focus in on what you're thinking and stuff. Getting out into nature can help when we get away from all the chaos and the noise. So I like that for you. All right. So that's what they have for you, my dear, my dear. So many blessings to you. And I see your other donations. So thank you. I appreciate you understanding. We'll zip back around that here in a few. All right. Sorry, I got to adjust here. My butt is getting numb. Let me switch here. There we go. It's falling off my chair. My legs are getting numb. We don't want that. All right. So Michelle Smith, oh my gosh, you are up next. You're at 22222. How perfect is that? Don't have that happen too often. So Michelle, let's see here. I think your question is back here. Do, 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 do. There you are. Oh no. So an ex of yours literally called 10 minutes ago, and that was this less than an hour ago. So you're like, what's up with this? Uh-oh, dun dun dun. Let's take a look here. All right. Virgo, the planet of love, just moved into Gemini yesterday, balancing the learning energy, the twins energy. So who knows what this is about, right? So let's take a look here. What is up with this ex contacting you? Dun, 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 dun. I'm hearing Jaws theme song now. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's see what we have here. All right. So, bottom of the deck, we do have the Six of Pentacles here. So, Six of Pentacles can mean a variety of things, but I'm getting an energy here of a little of codependency from them. And you're like, hell yeah, you being an overgiver, them kind of wanting the kind of a taker. Because I'm getting a flashback of like my first ex. I remember them sitting in my living room going, um, can we give it another try? And blah, blah, blah. This is after they had cheated and all this other stuff and for years and all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm like, no. And they're like, but you know, I miss you and da da da. And I go, I would miss me too. I gave you a lot. Oh my God. I would want to be with me too. That's the kind of energy I'm feeling here, Michelle. Is like, yeah, I would want to be with you too. Why wouldn't I want to contact you back and be together with you? Because whatever they went off to did not work out. And now they're like, well, maybe um maybe your defenses are down and we can have us go back this way, right? But it's like, maybe not. Let's see what else we have here too. Yep, 10 of Pentacles looking for relationship. So they're on the prowl, uh testing the waters. We've got the Tower. Yep, someone got removed out, they got removed out of someone's life, or someone got removed out of theirs too. With all of that. So I don't think we things worked out very well. Not to be, happy about it. It's just like, well, well, yeah, now we see why it's all happening here. Yeah, and the Star card. They did see you and do see you as like a dream come true. Kind of as I was saying, like, it was so good being with you. Yeah, it was. If only you could have honored that and kept it, then maybe you would still be in it, but you didn't, Blanche, you didn't. All right. So, I feel like that's kind of what energy. Let's see what else is going on here too. Yeah, we got the Ace of Wands. So there is this passion ignited. They're trying to restart, rekindle something. We have the 10 of Cups. Yeah, because they all this overflowing love and joy that you're able to give. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? It's like I was trying to think of an example. The ones your spirit guides gave me as a little kid that says, "Who wouldn't love being with a clown?" They're like, they have everything. This is before scary clowns came into existence. But it's like they have everything. They're so happy. They know magic. They're funny, you know. There's so much. They've got great cars that fit so many people. But I just feel like there's this energy of their like remembering all the good things here. Yeah, they have the 6 of Swords. Now they do feel that they've changed. I've changed. I've let the old ways go, and now I'm someone new. Start with the slow clap and then applaud more. Like, I'm so happy for you. But, you know, of course, Spirit says there's never any wrong choice. There's not, any right or wrong choices. There's different choices with different outcomes and different perspectives. And I don't feel like you are really contemplating taking them back, but it's good advice from spirit that anytime we're going to take back, try to allow someone, because sometimes we're like, I'd rather just try and know than not try and never know and regret. um but there's this energy of like, you know what, I'm not going to let them just come right back in. It's like, well, if you're interested in dating me, then we will date. There won't be any, sex you know, for a certain amount of time. And I need to see you consistently and see if you've changed for 3 months. What? 3 months? Oh, thank you for proving me that you have not changed. Bye. If they're like, okay, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. Um, if they haven't changed, even if they thought they've changed, you'll see it quickly. No one can carry on and fake it for 90 days, because after 30 days that's how we form new habits. So if they do it for 30 days trying to prove it to you, suddenly they've changed. And win-win. Anyway, so that's what they have you for that, and the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, the balance, the 2 of Pentacles, the choice of the outside world. But I do feel like you're one of the prospects, that they're checking out here among their list of X's. Um, so if that's what you were wondering, is this what they're yeah, that's what they're doing. They are looking for to look at possibilities and to test the waters to see if it's something that you'd be interested in. So, regardless of whatever the conversation is about, there's always something below the surface, right? So that's what they have for you, Michelle. Let's give you your fortune cookie too. The basic rule of the psychic universe is that like attracts like. Similarly, love promotes love so that the person who has let go of a lot of inner negativity is surrounded by loving thoughts, loving events, loving people, and loving pets. Um, so, of course, you'll know immediately this energy does not match mine or not, right? And that allows you to go, no, I'm not going to partake of that anymore. All right. So that is what they have for you, my dear. So thank you again for your donation. All right. And then Dulce Joy, we have you here. Let's grab your timestamp here. All right. There we go. And so thank you for your donation via CashApp. And you'd like a general reading for July through September. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's see what we have. Let me take a quick sip here. Okay. July, August, September. Any underlying energy for these? Any? Okay, yes. 1 and 2 and 3. All right. Well, overall, you have the Page of Pentacles for this 3-month period, which is new opportunities and harvest. So we like that coming in here. July, we're really looking at the Four of Swords, the Four of Pentacles. So really, July starts off really feeling stable with those number fours. Think of it as like a huge table with four huge legs. So there's some great stability here in July, both mentally and in the physical world here. Um, so I like that. Just a lot of good reflection. Let's see what the underlying energy is. Yeah, because you have the Nine of Swords. Oh, yeah, this makes sense. So, there is a little bit of energy here of, wow, things look good. I'm kind of waiting for the other foot to drop is an underlying energy. And you might not even be conscious of it because this is a below the surface card. And what that means is um, you might have a history in your life of when things are going good, something always bad happens. We perceive it that way. And I feel like that's an important part of your adventure is to don't allow energy to focus in on that fears and go into that. Consciously choose to focus on gratitude for all the things that you love because that'll just grow all this. And if there's the fears we have and the fears we do that, we will, zip in and go down into the lower vibration and invite those things to bring that prophecy, self-fulfill that prophecy, self-fulfill the self-prophecy, right? And we're like, no, 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 no. Because that's not a rule in life that, good things have to end and everything what goes up must come down. Nah, it's not true. That's a human, you know, uh falsity. Things can go smooth for a very long time. There can be bumps and burps here and there, but they don't have to go into the that's judgment and belief. And it is possible to live a life of joy. That's what we're designed for. That's our right is to live a life of joy. We don't have to have a life of right. So that's July. August, you've got the Knight of Pentacles. It's a slower moving night. Um, the slowest moving night, and you have the Queen of Wands too. So, August, we'll see what the underlying energy in here is a second, but it's like things slow down to give you the opportunity with the Queen of Wands to realize whatever I focus on is what grows and expands because that Queen of Wands has the Ace of Wands. And especially, there's an emotional energy that comes along with it. Where am I investing my emotional energy? My emotional choices in each moment are what draw things that match that to me. So if I choose higher vibration emotions, unconditional love and joy and laughter and play and gratitude and peace, I draw on things that match that. And if I focus in on lower vibrational sadness, anger, blah, all those rooted in fear, guess what? I get more of that too, right? And so there is this great awareness as things slow down in August. It slows down so that you can grow and learn and even experiment with your energy because things don't come in. Whoosh. So if you focus on a lower vibration, you can kind of see it coming towards you and go, all right, that's enough. Now I'm going to focus over here. This gets drawn in and this starts drifting away. Whereas on regular speed, it might be like, whoa, no. So I like all this. Yeah. And the Ace of Wands is the underlying energy. So yeah. So that confirms it. It's August is about stepping into your power, realizing you're not at the whim of the outside world. You're not, a little kid in a baby seat in the back of a seat being driven around in life. Your energy is what drives your life. Creator's your co-pilot. They're like, I have no um desire for your life. It's like a grandparent taking a grandchild to a playground. They don't care what you get on to play and what you're going to go do. They're just there to watch and see you have fun and enjoy it and be there for you and support you. um and so it's like, what do you wanna go do? You go play. And if, sometimes we're like, "Oh, no, no, there's gotta be a way that we play on the playground. What should I be going on first? What should I be going on next?" And you're like, "Whatever you want." "Wow, you need to tell me." So we're like, "Creator, you need to tell me what I need to do next." "Well, whatever you'd like to do." "No, you tell me. I'm not gonna go do anything till you tell me." They're like, "All right, let's go play on the swings. I'll push you, okay?" "All right, that sounds good. Let's go." I just want to make sure that you're happy and all that they care is that we're happy and enjoying our adventure. So it's good energy to realize that. September, you have the 6 of Cups. Ooh, interesting energy. Let's see what else this is about here. You have the 3 of Pentacles and the Lovers card here. So September seems to be like a month of love or at least important relationships. Because the 3 of Pentacles is about, like, being true to your authentic self, but also being part of a group that you can be true to yourself in as well. But the 6 of Cups is a past life connection energy. Lover's card can be any, relationship energy. So it can be best friend, it can be, uh, a family member or becoming reacquainted with a family member you haven't been in contact with in a while. Um that kind of energy, or of course, romantic love, if you're looking for it, there's a possibility, but it's past life connection energy. So it's going to be someone that you're going to be like so comfortable with and like, wow, there's this strong draw. And I love that for you in September. And like you'll recognize them. You won't have to wonder, I wonder if that's them. I joke a lot about past life. When we meet people that are the strong past life connections, they're glowing in the dark and they have a rainbow shooting out of their butt, kind of energy. And I like that here for you. Yep, 8 of Wands too. A lot of energy flowing in the month of September. A lot of positive energy flow. A lot of passionate flow too. So that could definitely be uh, romantic if you're looking for it. Ooh, all right. So that's what they have there. We'll grab you a fortune cookie here too and see what else they want you to know. But that's your summary for this next 3 months from a high level, hitting the high points or some high points. Of course, they don't tell us everything because we do want some surprises. We don't want to know it all. We've done that in past lives and other lifetimes, other iterations of humanity. We're like, that's boring. Let's have it be a surprise. So your fortune cookie says, make a decision that freedom is more desirable than having a negative feeling. The goal of surrender is transcendence. Our greater destiny is total freedom. I like that. All right, so that's what they have for you, Delcy. So many blessings to you. All right, let me take a look here at timestamps real quick. All right. So Christina will be up next. And then I did get another donation via the Cash App. So we've got Pretty uh, R. I think that we'll see if that's your same name here. So my apologies if that's not your name in the chat. So when it comes through on Cash App, if I don't see the mention of the name uh, of the name in the chat, I try not to put someone else's name, but we'll see. So, Christina, 240.50 coming back around. So, thank you again for your additional donation. Oh, it's you. So sorry. Let me make sure I change that here. PGM. Hmm. I don't know if it came through on this sign. Let me just make sure for the future here, real quick. Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, didn't have it in the Cash App, so yeah, I don't see it. No, it says the name is Pretty R. Yeah, blonde hair. That is you, because there's only one other one, so I know it's you. But because I'm like, Anyway, so you'll be next, though. There. So sorry, Christina. Your reading's really starting now, even though I said about that. No, no problem at all. Sorry that I said your name out loud. All right. So, Christina, thank you for your additional donation. I really appreciate that. So, reading in Bretta's Tea Shop. Please expand more about the September cards pulled. Curious. Oh, yeah. Who are they? How do you meet and what do they look like? Yes. Let's dive more in here. All right. All right. So let's see here more about who are they. Okay. Do those and those. How do you meet? Okay. All right. They just want that one. And what do they look like? Let's see what they'll tell us here. All right. So, who are they? We got the Page of Swords. So, I like this here. Page of Swords. They are someone, they're a bit they're a bit mental. That doesn't sound right. But pages are um you know the newer energy. I'm trying to think here because this is air energy, but pages also bring, let's see, queens are cups, kings are fire, knights. No, oh, they're earth. Yeah, that's right. Because kings are not fire. Kings are air. They get an extra sword. Queens are cups. Knights are fire because they're action, and pages are earth. I thought that's what it was. I want to confirm. So anyway, now you had a little tarot lesson. But earth, they're grounded, but they're also very much big thinkers. Great conversation. Um, open-minded, looking for, um like, they're more curious. They're not, like, very, you know, close-minded and stubborn about things. They wanna hear what people's, you know, um, rather than trying to prove to you that their opinion's right, they wanna understand what your side is. I love that, right? You're like, "Heck yeah." Let's see what else. Ooh, the Knight of Cups. So, of course, a romantic. Check, check. We like that, along with, the Temperance card too. I like it here with, those 2 cards coming out together because they're romantic, but they also take their time with all of that too, which so it's not someone that's just, you know, um, pushing for, you know, romance. They want it to unfold, and they're patient with it, which is beautiful because it's not someone that's just trying to rush things to get what they want. They want to enjoy the adventure of it. So that's good. And the Knight of Swords. Wow. So very knightly here. Again, Knight of Swords is someone who is on a quest for it, and the Ten of Wands here. Very energetic. I like this combination because it's like they're very motivated to learn and to grow. So it's like a perpetual student that's always wanting to learn something new, which makes sense with that Page of Wands too. But it's a grounded approach to it as well. So I like this energy. So they're giving you little tidbits here that I feel like form a very noble person with these knights. So, knight in shining armor. Oh, I know, heartbeat, boop, boop, boop. But it also is the regalness and the nobility, not nobility. That's not the word I'm looking for. But you know how knights are stately and honorable and that. And I feel that kind of energy with all this too. Um, let's see, you wanted to know, how do you meet? You have the Two of Swords. I like this because it's like you guys meet together and learning something with this Two of Swords. And so this would be like you going out and doing something that you're enjoying, or even it's not necessarily like a class, but if you're taking any classes in the month, or if you're interested in doing something, it would be along the lines of, let's say you're like, I want to learn how to cook. Um, I don't know, Indian cuisine. And so I want to go learn. And so there you bump into someone whose friends were like, "What? No, you just go." Or someone's friend canceled at the last minute, like yours did. So you end up being partnered together to because both of your person that was supposed to be your partner in cooking didn't show up. So these little projects they have everyone do to learn requires another person. So they ask if you guys can be together, and you're like, yeah, 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 we can. And then conversation sparks up and blah blah blah. That's kind of the I feel like that type of situation, doing something you enjoy, learning, growing, or just going out and doing it. I just feel like because it's like you guys meeting, both of you are doing the same thing and you're bumping into each other. So I like that. And then what do they look like? King of Swords. Well, I kind of had a feeling, right? With all this thinking and student and perpetual student energy, I feel like they're gonna be a bit of a geek, a little nerdy, a little geeky. I know, right? You're like, well, but but I feel like they're um, being air signy. They're going to be unique looking. And they're going to stand out. They're not going to be like a model, a drop dead gorgeous model, like a fire sign that just draws you in like a vampire to consume you. That's like from Twilight, right? But the King of Swords is someone that you're drawn to their intelligence and conversation first. Um, and I don't feel like they're gonna be like someone that you'd be like, "Whoa, who is that?" But after you're talking with them, they just transition before your eyes because you're just really mentally stimulated by them, um, in conversation and intelligence and their ability to communicate. Because the King of Swords is a master of communication too. So I feel like they're gonna have a really unique voice, as well that you love hearing, and, you're like, "Whoa, I like that." Also the Empress energy. So they're also going to be it's humor and intelligence that attracts you. Oh, good. And compassion, right? The Empress energy here is someone who's very compassionate too. So I love this um energy because the King of Swords is like two times air energy, but below the surface they've got the Empress, which she's got 5 parts cups, 1 part air, 1 part fire, 1 part earth. So they also have a great balance between head and heart. Um, so they um, they know how to communicate their feelings as well, and I like that. But as far as looks go, I feel like that softness comes through their expression too. So I love this. So a really um, wonderful communication and wonderful voice, but really soft eyes that you just can get lost in because there's this compassion in their eyes. And you can see that in it when you look into it, you just, you know, get drawn in. So I feel like those are two important things to know right now, but we don't want to know too much. It's a scavenger hunt. So they get little things here and there again. So we get that. So let's see what your fortune cookie says too here. Since I put these cards back in. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, there it goes. So let's see what else they have to tell you here. What else can we know about them? I feel like, is it this one? Yeah, that's it's not got to be this one. Yeah. So surrender stress. It says, take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. It's interesting. As I'm reading that, I felt um, like they do meditations. Like I could hear their voice going, take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension. I feel like their voice is something that is that kind of calming voice that a lot of people mention, like my voice will put them to sleep sometimes. I feel like they have that voice where when they focus it into calmness, that they could be recording meditations and you're just like, keep talking to me. I think you're gonna put me to sleep. I've had people when I used to do some other podcasts, people like, yeah, I started to listen to your podcast and I had the best night's sleep. I'm like, you jerk. But then I'm like, that's a compliment. Thank you. I'm glad that you were able to it put you to sleep. It was a friend. All right. So that's what they have for you, my dear. Hopefully that helps. So many blessings to you. All right. Then the Gemini, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. You are very welcome. I love it too. I'm so glad I am content being single, or I would be jealous. And everyone else is like, well, I want somebody. Oh, the joy, the joy. All right. So, the Gemini, thank you so much for your donation. And sorry that I mentioned your name earlier. I'll try to remember. I'm not sure why it didn't show up, but it is tech. So, what do we expect, right? All right. So, the Gemini, you asked, did the Sagittarius ignore your recent text? Um, he wanted to talk. Okay. Let's take a look here. And if you have any other clarifiers you want on that, I know there's only so much you can pop into the Cash App. Let me just make sure you didn't already. Let me just go back up here. Here we go. Nope, I don't see anything there. Okay, so let's take a look here. Did that Sagittarius ignore your recent text? All right. And let's see what else. He wanted to talk, then what's the dealio, right? I feel like those, but not that one. Got the underlying energy. Okay. Oh, right. It's like, what is up with them, right? All right, so let's take a look here, see what we have. Yeah, or he just didn't see it. I get you. So let's take a look. We've got the 10 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, two tens, both about abundance and bigness and fullness in the outside world. Um, and I don't feel here that they like purposely ignored it with this energy. I'm almost feeling more like ADHD energy, which is like they're overstimulated. They got so much going on in their life that they saw it and they're like, okay, I'm gonna get back to that. But if you know ADHD, it's not that um how do we say it? It's not that they forget people. It's just that there's so much about what's here in the moment that they forget about everything else. Even though they purpose in going, this is very important. I want to pay attention to squirrel. What's that? What's that? Okay, and they're off over here doing, doing this. Someone it was a comedian. He's if you ever I forget his name, he's the stuttering comedian. And he's married to an ADHD wife, right? Yeah, exactly. We'll find out more here too. We got more cards. But he was like, I come home from work and the coffee table is fallen and there's spilt coffee and there's this mess in here and the vacuum is in the middle plugged in and all this, and she's laying on the couch exhausted and he was like, what are you doing? What's all this? Oh, I was cleaning the house. He's like, "What?" But she's like, "Well, I was, vacuuming and I hit the coffee table and the leg broke and the coffee went off, and so I went to go get paper towels and I realized we're out of paper towels, and so, I went to make a grocery list and I saw the junk drawer and it was so but it's like, yeah, squirrel syndrome. It just goes off and they can't help it. It is a chemical uh thing that it's just and she goes by the time and then I went to the store, but I forgot paper towels because I saw the sale in this chicken. And so then I came home to start preparing that for dinner. But then I remembered, and it's like that's the kind of thing that's coming in there. So and you unsent it, yeah. So let's find out what else is here too. You got the Queen of Swords and the Five of Cups. So there is this, balanced energy. The Five of Cups is movement here. Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna be like, "What happened? Why did she unsend it?" Um, but, there is this I don't even think they're gonna notice, they'll be like, "There's something I'm forgetting." But, the Queen of Swords is balance between head and heart. The Five of Cups is transformation of emotion. Really, this is talking about all this need for balance, like emotional stability for them. And, I know my host, she's got ADHD, and when she gets on her meds, she's like can super focus, and I can tell when she hasn't taken it because I'm like, "You're talking about 5 things all at the same time, and I'm having trouble keeping up." She goes, "I didn't take my meds." I go, "I didn't think so." Because you could tell. I can usually keep up with 2 tracks. I'm like, "Oh, you're talking about that again." "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." And I'm like, "Okay." What else do we have here? 8 of Swords and the Knight of Cups, yeah. So there's all this, like, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Cups, but there's all this mental and emotional energy that keeps them from, doing all this, and moving forward on things. And we got this 8 of Wands to the 4 of Wands, and it keeps them from happiness quite a bit, you know? 8 of Wands is like, so much activity and so much go, 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 and, but the 4 of Wands is about joy. I want joy and happy celebrations and opportunities, but they spend so much time running in circles, instead of doing that. So something just to be aware of with them. Oh, and it's funny that my host is Sagittarius too. So, I used to wonder because my dad, he's a Sagittarius and he has ADHD. I go, "I wonder if it's a sign thing and not so much, a human physiology." Any other Sagittarians out there that have ADHD? Let's do a study, an unofficial one. But something about them is that if you want to, because they are only focused on who's in their life in the moment. If you wanna be in their life, you have to be continually in their life. Otherwise, they'll drift away and, see things from whatever's got their attention in the moment. It's like, "Hey, hey, hey, look here, look here." So, um, I would just send another text if you really want, just to see what happens. Do a test. Consider it. You're a mad scientist in a laboratory. Let's see if this works. Just start off the text. Hey, do you happen to have ADHD? That'll get a response. Maybe not the one you were looking for. But let's see what else your fortune cookie says here. Oh my goodness. All right. So letting go is like the sudden cessation of an inner pressure or the dropping of a weight. It says it is accompanied by a sudden feeling of relief and lightness with an increased happiness and freedom. So there is something about when we realize that other people's actions or non-actions, words or silence have nothing to do with us. We don't know what's going on over there or in here, over there and everything. And when we drop the connection to the outcome or, responses, we can just allow people to be themselves and we feel so much lighter. It's like their response or non response has nothing to do with me, has to do with what's going on with them. And I can trust that what's happening there for me or is happening is for me. So I like that. So hopefully that helps, my dear. Thank you again for your donation. And yeah, I would. I feel like, why not? If we're like waiting, and not knowing, just ask. Not asking if they have ADHD, but go, hey, sorry. Looks like previous text, my previous text was unsent. So thought I would just reach out again. You're not lying because you're not saying I don't know why it was unsent. You're just going, "Oh, I noticed that my text was unsent, so I wanted to make sure that you received it." Uh, you know, so blah blah blah. How's it going? Whatever. And then if you don't hear back in this one, then But I feel like they do our and if that's the way it's gonna be and you're like, "This sounds like too much energy that I don't wanna invest," don't send the text. You're just like, I think I'm just gonna move on." Alright, so that is what they have for you, my dear. Many, many blessings to you, And everyone, I'm so sorry. I've hit 3 hours, and that is my um, cutoff time for balancing. And I didn't get to any free readings in this session. I'm so sorry. But I will be back tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Sundays are very special, where I used to do this I used to do this every Sunday, and then I got doing it all the time, and that's where I got out of balance, but I'm getting back into balance. Sundays, whatever I don't get to in that morning session, I do come back into in a later session and complete everything, even the free readings. So if you've been trying to get a free reading, I know like Thursday night I didn't get to any free readings. Last night I completed everything. This morning, no free readings. This afternoon, no free readings. And I'm so sorry. It's part of my journey to not feel guilty about it. So I appreciate you guys understanding, and just know that if you're like, I don't want to keep trying every session to see if I get a free reading, for sure come in on Sundays. Just make sure you pop your question in between that time, and I will come back. And I always post a pinned comment with all the readings and the timestamps that I completed. So if you post it in the morning, you can come back and look at the stream and see if I got to you in the morning. If not, then check the other ones in the afternoon ones. So that's what we have there. Actually, Ankita, I'm headed out. So if you could wait until tomorrow, that would be great. Or if you want to do it now, I'll save it and make it the first one I do tomorrow, if that works for you too. If you're like, oh, I'm going to be sleeping, if you want to make the donation now and put your question, I'll grab it and you can be up first tomorrow. But I do need to balance and head out. Because I this morning I ended up going 4 hours because I kept on taking just one more donation. And I'm like, oh, there's my out of balance kicking in already. You wait till tomorrow? Okay, no problem. So I'll see you tomorrow. Then I appreciate you so much. And thank you guys for all the thumbs up and all the love and all support. And um what's coming in today. All right. Well, you'll know then. You're like, okay, well, so there you go. Yeah, no problem. Hang in there. But thank you guys. I do appreciate you all of you understanding my need for balance and all the love and all the support that you all have given me. And it's my joy. So until we see each other again, remember every second of every day of your life, you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the mother and the father of all things, our creator. And of course, I love you too. So till I see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourselves. Remember, have some fun. Because why are we being so serious? All right. I love you guys. We'll see you.